This is the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll with headlines and punchlines for September 17th, 2025. At least 13 people have been wounded, 5 critically, in 2 shootings that erupted in a purple rain of gunfire over a span of 12 hours at homeless encampments in Minneapolis. The city's mayor said that he's not surprised that there's no outrage from conservatives. A New York State judge dismissed on Tuesday 2 terrorism-related counts against Luigi Mangione over the December 2024 killing of health insurance executive Brian Thompson. Though the 27-year-old remains charged with second-degree murder, 8 other criminal counts in the case, and stealing the hearts of the ladies. An independent United Nations commission said Tuesday that Israel was committing genocide in Gaza. Israel's foreign ministry claimed that 67,000 Palestinians killed and starved is not a genocide. It's a Rosh Hashanah miracle. Republicans in Congress are launching an aggressive campaign to punish individuals they accuse of posthumously smearing Charlie Kirk, threatening to bring them before lawmakers, defund entities that protect them, oust them from positions of power, and they will have to stand downwind of Trump at the next State of the Union address. This has been the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll with headlines and punchlines for September 17th, 2025. Join me live at the Church of Last Resort Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on MindDog TV.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee and hot.
My dog is your mind's best friend. My dog is your mind's best friend.
Right.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
About that. How about let's drink coffee together? Would you like some coffee? I bought mine for me, not for you. Coffee is for closing. I might as well close. All right, we're closed. Whoa, why did I get a heart? Give me a heart. No, I don't do good for the heart. You could ask Dr. Miller about that. Good morning, folks. It is Wednesday, hump day, right? September 17, 2025. Same shit, different day. It's getting a little chilly here. I'm going to have to close windows. It's getting a little chilly. Or I'm just getting to be a big pussy. That's what it is. Today we have a comedian in the second hour, goes by the name of Brian B., but I didn't know that because even just yesterday, we were talking about him with his full last name. I don't know. I'm from now on. I want you to call me Matt or whatever. So he'll be here in the second hour. He's from Michigan. I think GD met him at a Home Depot in the parking lot. It's complicated. Anyway, we do our best we can for you here, and that's the best we can do. What can I say? The right and the left. don't agree on almost anything, right? I mean, nothing. But me and Marjorie Green, Marjorie Taylor Greene, we're simpatico. Yesterday, Marjorie Taylor Greene said it's time for a national divorce, and everybody was, uh, you know, beating on her ugly Neanderthal face, which, whatever. But if you pay attention, you would know that I wrote an article calling "It's time for America's time for a national divorce" last week, like the day after that guy got killed. And if you read it, you're probably not on Marjorie Taylor Greene's side, or you're just sending me hate mail because of it. But I still think it's absolutely true. There's no coming back from Trumpism. There's no coming back to what the divide that man put on this country. Now, is it all his fault? Maybe some of it's his credit to, it's like the roaches were always there. The roaches were always there. He told them roaches, come on out, there's plenty of food. And the roaches came running out, and you realize, hey, wait a minute. Those are my friends and family. I didn't know they were fucking roaches. But that's where we're at. I don't think it's like, why stay together to kill each other? Now, again, coming up, trying to divvy up the property, it's complicated. It's not like north and south or east and west. It's like neighbor to neighbor. It's house to house. It's sometimes within a house, like here. She did the line right. I don't know how we'll do it, but if we don't do it, we're gonna end up killing each other. And what's better? Two different countries where we get along, we are up fine, and you do whatever you want, and you have to use a passport to go from one to the other. Well, however you have, blah, blah. What's better, that or just everybody dying? You look at Vietnam. It took Vietnam, by the way, the culture over there is very forgiving. They're Buddhists, and they forgive killing. North and South had to kill 2 million of each other before they said, you know what? This is a bad idea. Maybe we should find a way to work it out and come back together. But they had to be apart for 20 years in civil war to get to that point. Are we willing to pay that price? I don't think so. America's, for as tough as we make believe we are or tell ourselves we are, we're a bunch of pussies. So, 2 million people in Vietnam, if you prorate that up, that's like 50, 60, 70, 80 million people in the United States. That ain't happening. We ain't killing each other to the tune of 80,000 people before we realize, let's stop killing each other. So I hate to say it, Marjorie Taylor Greene's right. One more thing that the right and left. Well, and not that me and her are right and left. And I'm certain there are a lot of people who don't agree with either one of us on that program. I'm still getting a lot of pushback on it. Well, all right, we'll kill each other, fine. But one thing that right and left seem to really agree upon, I don't know how closely you follow this, is the texts that were put out by Utah governor, I think, Utah investigators, maybe even Cash Patel, the FBI. I don't know who released these fucking texts, but they're as phony as a porn star's tits. The language in it. Now, I've seen some 22-year-old kids say, "Oh, that's how we text all the time." Bullshit. The kid's saying I need to go back to according to these texts, and maybe we could read them later. But using words like "my vehicle" instead of the car, or "there's a vehicle lingering," talking about a cop, or squad cars, which is something my father's generation would call a squad car, but nobody other than a cop refers to their car, truck, motorcycle. I got to go back and get my vehicle. That's just cop talk. The whole thing is it reads like a badly written script. And why put it out there? Well, in one short piece of text, it confirms the entire government narrative. This guy is guilty. He admits to his guilt. He admits to changing his clothes. He admits to stashing a rifle. He admits to wrapping it in a towel. He admits to engraving memes on bullets. He admits to a note left for the roommate that was now destroyed, but Kash Patel insisted existed. He admits that in the letter to prove that it existed. All the things that Kash Patel wanted to get out there approved in this nice little summed up text exchange. It's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. And even Steve Bannon agrees with me on this. That's a stretch. That Steve Bannon, Candace Owens, all these far right wing nut jobs. I said, this does, and why would they do that? Because it says everything they would want it to say, but obviously it reads like a phony ass created script. So there you have that. Why am I still so light over there? I'm too light. I don't like being light. I like being in the dark. I'm a vampire. Let's darken me up a little. Is that better? I don't know. Anyway, so we'll mumble and boop for about an hour, and then Brian B., who lost, sadly, in a tragic accident, lost the rest of his last name just this morning. It was a tragic boating accident. The rest of his last name was water skiing off the back of. I don't know. I'm just I'm being a retard right now because I haven't had my mind bloom yet.
Mind Bloom is helping people achieve life-changing clinical and personal breakthroughs, alchemizing both the psychedelic medication, psychiatric care from psychiatric clinicians, coaches we call psychedelic guides, and a lot of content and meditations and programs into this really transformational experience that, because it's delivered at home, costs a lot less and is a lot more convenient for people to receive.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the room with me now is a man who never cares about being too bright or anything else. He doesn't care. He just doesn't care. D.D. Fenderson. Good morning, D.D.
Good morning, America. Mind.tv.com.
He doesn't care. Oh, I'm sorry. You care.
Do you wish people would shut the fuck up and listen?
No.
My wife does. It's a learned skill and none of my finest qualities. Mind.tv.com/merch. Buy shit from us so that I can buy my way out of trouble.
Oh.
Mind.tv.com. Enjoy the suffering and support your local mercenaries.
Like, how would you go about buying your way out of trouble? Flowers? What would you take her out to dinner? What would constitute buying your way out of trouble?
Actually, nothing gets me out of trouble. She just has to decide to not even forgive or forget, just to wait until another day to wave it in my face again.
Forgive or what?
Forgive or forget. She doesn't do that either.
To forgive, I keep forgetting the other part. I'm just being a dick and a retard and a stupid motherfucker. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. That's what I am. I was born this way and I can't change it. So, have you seen the text thing I was talking about?
Yeah, I saw it on the news.
Are you gonna tell me that it's all real? It's real. It's real.
I'm not saying anything until it's submitted in evidence.
Well, who released it? Do we even know? Because where it came from. But there's no. Why not release the screenshots of it? Why there's no timestamps on it? And it's very neat and wrapped up into here's the proof that everything we said is true. And another thing, when was the last time you saw a prosecutor or the prosecution release evidence that could taint the jury pool on the day the guy got arraigned? Come on. Does any of it make sense?
Well, we're talking about the Trump administration and the way they do shit. So it doesn't have to make, like I said, that's why I wait. Because they say a lot of stuff that's not true. And even when they go to court, they say stuff that's not true. That's why they've had to back off on a lot of the people, almost every person that they've charged with assault on an ICE agent or federal officers, they've had to back down because they've overstated and misrepresented everything that happened so far. So I just wait till things are entered into evidence.
But you got evidence. They released evidence.
No, I said until it's entered into evidence.
Oh,
In other words, once it's done in the court, once it's officially, because they can say anything they want, print anything they want in public, and that's what the Trump administration does, and they get it out there and they get their version out there first, and then they just want their version out there first. It doesn't have to be true; it just has to be what they want out there. So anything contrary to that, the system's rigged. Everybody's against us. They're stealing shit from you. So,
all right, fine. Be that way.
but that's just me.
All right. Was Kash Patel ever a cop?
I don't know the answer to that. I believe he was. I want to say in law enforcement, but not necessarily a cop. But I think his law enforcement thing wasn't like a cop. It was more like an investigator. No, I'm trying to think here, because he worked for the government, and he really screwed up some bad intel. He lied, almost got people killed. The only reason why people didn't die was because the mission itself was aborted. Otherwise, it was totally, he fucked up big time.
He doesn't seem competent at all. He was in the Senate hearing yesterday, and it seemed like this guy has never been a police. He doesn't seem to have any clue about running the FBI. It seems to me like he was just a podcaster. You can't just take a guy from here and put him in charge of shit. Did you see any of that hearing stuff?
Yeah, I did. And one of the things I noticed is that he's very, very wounded. He's like a small child. But whenever they talk to him, he wouldn't look at him back in the eyes. He would like look down, and he wasn't even be writing. He would just hold his pen, like I'm not going to look at them in the face. I'm not going to look at them in the eye. I got to think of my talking point.
That's what I'm talking about. A real cop, even if he's wrong, he's going to look you in the eye and be assertive. That's what a cop does.
Yeah.
That in their nature. If you've been a cop at all, you don't fucking put your hand, or you don't react like he did with Adam Schiff, where Adam Schiff was questioning about well, you're just a fraud. You're the biggest fraud. I'm not gonna like. Wait a minute. This guy is getting awfully emotionally broken and starting the name calling shit in the Senate, which never happens. And it was just because he was threatened and didn't have an answer to what he was being questioned about, and was definitely. Cops don't do that. Cops, even when they're dead wrong, they got
on video, caught on video, and
right.
Dead wrong.
I'm wondering, where did they get this guy from? They just picked a random podcaster who supported the January 6th stuff and said, that guy would a little cross-eyed Indian dude. Sure, that's the guy. He's our main guy.
Now, when he was dealing with the New Jersey senator, the black guy, I can't remember his name. Man, I'm so ready for the fall of my thing. Cory Booker. Cory Booker, thank you. I knew it had to be in there somewhere.
BBB.
Cory Booker. Cory Booker was listening to Kash Patel, and he hadn't said anything yet. I mean, Kash Patel had said something, and Cory Booker reacted, but he hadn't said anything, and he goes, and Kash Patel went on one of those preemptive talking points, which didn't apply yet. But it was like, I'm trying to think, it was like he accused Booker of saying something he hadn't said yet. His mouth was, Booker was just, and the guy goes, you can't say that. Like, oh, okay. And then Booker went, but it was just weird. Like I said, the guy, he's weak. He's weak. And he's in way over his head. The only reason why he's got that job still is because he does what Trump wants him to do. He has no will or spine of his own.
Yeah. But he just doesn't seem like a cop to me. I've been around cops.
No, I don't think he was ever a cop.
Shouldn't you have to have been a cop to run the FBI? I mean, on some FBI agent, some kind of cop, even a security guard at the mall, maybe. Shouldn't you have some experience in law enforcement rather than just, I don't know, being a podcaster? It's just, and then Bongino too. What is his experience in law enforcement? He's a podcaster. Both these guys. It's just I don't know. So that's where we're at. Yeah. All right, that's the show for you. No, we have Brian B coming up in an hour. Brian B, who I thought was he had a full last name, but obviously he lost his last name somewhere in a tragic boating accident just this morning. So maybe we'll talk about that. Does he play the accordion?
I don't know the answer to that, but if he does with gloves on.
Oh, trying to find any information on him was very difficult yesterday, and for some reason, when I switch these computers around, I can't use my text message on either one of them. It's just not. It's a enter your Apple ID stuff I do, and it says no, you're lying. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not lying. It works on my phone. And it's the same information. No, you're lying. It's like Cash Patel. It's trying to. It's not. It doesn't have any cop experience. My computers don't have any authentication experience now, even though they did when they were switched around. So I can't use my text messages to read that text that you sent to click on a link to maybe get more information about him. So I did what I could, but I have not been to Michigan. That's his home? He's got a podcast, right? Because I put a link to a podcast.
He has
sit down, stand up.
I'm pretty sure it's. I don't know if it's a podcast but he has he has a show that he does. I know he was doing it yesterday because I wanted to try to get him on yesterday, and he says I can't. I'm doing a show at that time.
Oh,
so
Sunday Night Funnies, comedy from A to Z. I think is Brian B talks with comedians throughout the Midwest. That's got to be him, right? I think I got it right.
Could be it.
That better be it, or else he's going to be mad at me. And then
it's okay if he's mad at you. It's all right. He's a very chill guy.
I'm very sensitive, though. I don't know if you've noticed this about me. I cry a lot and whimper.
I just thought it was because of your oniony breath. No, just
that could be.
Because it makes me cry. No.
Wow. Through the magic of the internet. That's pretty bad.
No.
There was a guy who worked for me when I worked for the cult Barbara Brennan School of Healing, who had the worst breath, especially in the morning, where 10 feet away, you'd have to go, oh. And I just don't know how 10 feet is. I mean, I could understand you getting up close and like you're in a huddle, but 10 feet away, and every time he opens his mouth, it smells like somebody just took the cap off the sewer. Here's a toothbrush. Here's some toothpaste.
How was his teeth? Because sometimes it happens because a person has rotting teeth in their mouth.
He had good teeth, or in the front he had good teeth. You never know what's happening in the back there.
Yeah, you don't know what's happening in the back, and a lot of times it's happening in the back. And people get used to the smell because it happens so slowly. The bacteria and the decay, and they don't smell it anymore.
My wife
and the people around him, like people, if he has a wife or children, they try not to say anything.
Oh, well,
they've got defense mechanisms.
That's like you not telling me my mic is bad. Well, almost. It's not. No, it's not even close, is it? But whatever.
I thought you knew your mic was bad. That's why you stopped being friends with him.
Oh, no, that's a different mic. And there's several mics. Come to think of it. My wife says
you've gone through quite a few mics on this show.
Not my breath, but me personally. I'm starting to smell like coffee. My wife said.
Is it because it was reeking through your pores?
Well, that's what I said. I'm drinking far less coffee than I ever had at any point in my life. I used to be a 3 or 4 pot a day, full pots of coffee guy. But that's been over for at least a decade. And now I'm down to really 1 big cup every morning, and that's it. So why now that I'm starting this ooze coffee out of him? Maybe it's built up over the years, or maybe my organs stop functioning. we could talk to Slaptail. Maybe he knows a better explanation for why I'm seeping out coffee odor. Good coffee. It's good coffee. It's not like the cheap shit. So,
well, last night I did my humor workshop with Dylan Brody.
You do this every Tuesday night?
Yeah, every Tuesday night. And I submitted a. He wanted to see an. I did an open mic on the 2nd or the 9th. I did an open mic on the 9th. No, yeah, it was the 9th. And he said he says I'd like to see it. I don't usually show people my open mic videos. It's because again it's open mics. But I showed it. I brought it to the class so that everybody could. I said, okay, I'll send you the clip, but we'll discuss. We can discuss it in class. And uh, everybody had positive stuff to say. It's just funny for some of the that uh, things that I knew I'd messed up, and I knew why I messed up. Uh, he said there's one thing. He goes, it seems like you should have added something after that. I said I was about to, and I stopped because I was running short on time, so I stopped it. He goes, I don't care what you're thinking. Nobody, the audience doesn't know what you're thinking. I don't care. I was like, but you just said it seemed like something should go there. And I'll just let you know something does go there. I just didn't say it. I don't care. People don't know. But
How many people are in this thing?
And last night was Dylan and three of us.
Guys, women, or mixed?
Yes.
Mixed.
A mix of genders, mix of races, mix of hairstyles.
Wow. All right. All right. Yeah, it's a nice thing. Are you still doing the Barry Katz thing or no? Because I'm still getting emails from Barry Katz.
I still get the emails from Barry Katz, but I had stopped because it was on a Monday night, and I was using my Monday nights to be tutored on how to work my OBS and Plausible. So I was working. So my Monday nights is being used to get better at streaming a show.
Just in time for the world to end. I got it down. Oh,
we'll find out if I got it down because the next show I'm streaming is on November 20th.
That's a long way away. November 20th. Come on, the world will end before then. Was that that's like Thanksgiving week or something?
Yeah. It's also the day after my birthday.
Oh, well, let's start celebrating your birthday now. Get the cake. Somebody get the cake. So
just so you know, that smell that you smelling like coffee.
Yeah.
Just so you know, Slaptail did
and he said,
answer.
What does he say? He's being mean to me, isn't he?
No. It sounds like a self-diagnosis.
No, it is. No, it is. Yeah, you know what? He's right. It is cancer. I tried to tell her that, and my stepdaughter, like, all of a sudden, she gets aggressive. Like, what's the plan to take care of my mom after you're dead? You? That's
you're right.
My plan?
You tell me. You'll be here. You'll be here, not me. No,
I'm looking at the plan right now. It's you. Yeah, so I probably several types of cancer, but I think we've established that my family kills cancer. My cancer is so fucking grossed out by my family, it kills itself. It takes 20 years to kill, or 30 years to kill people in my family, but it kills itself. And then everybody is happy. 2 days ago, I told you I was going to write to Christopher Titus. And asked him to be on the program.
You did, and he wrote back, and he said yes.
No, he didn't write back, and then I wrote to him last night, and I said, "I know you're busy. I appreciate you're busy. It takes a second to type no, but yes is just as fast." And 10 seconds later, I got back a capital no. You're a fucking dumbass, and your lack of intelligence generally bothers me. Let's get email, and his email is in there, thinking for some reason that it's the comedian podcaster. Moron, all in capital letters. So trying to say that this is not the real Christopher Titus's email. And so I wrote back to him, and I said, okay, fair enough. That's funny. I said, the so-called reason that I thought this was Christopher Titus was because you're listed on 30 different show business sites as Christopher Titus. I'm surprised you don't get more of this. Sorry to bother you. Thanks for the laugh. And then he wrote back, you're a better man than I am. And so I looked, and it turns out I'm on an email chain with Christopher Titus that I know was the real Christopher Titus for an MS fundraiser that we were both on, a live streaming thing that happened it was a marathon thing. And he was on there, and he's on that email chain, and his email address is in there, and it's the same one. This is the real Christopher Titus. First of all, the her thing sounds exactly like him, right? He spelled her HURRRDURR. Yeah, like, if nothing gives away a Christopher Titus sound like in an email, that's it. But it's him. He's first of all, he was coming back, calling me a moron and saying, it's not really him. And then when he said, well, you're a good guy. He said, you're a decent guy, a better man than me. I'm like, oh, well, you could have said, I didn't go back and say, I know it's the real you, but it's the real him.
So, now there's a comedian named Paul Mercurio. He does the opening. Periodically, he does the opening he warms up the crowd for Stephen Colbert.
Oh,
and so he had pictures of me on the Colbert when I was on the Colbert on their stage, helping to warm up the crowd. He had pictures of it. He took pictures. And I wanted pictures because I can't say I was on the Colbert Show, really. Well, this way I have pictures of me on stage on the Colbert Show because it didn't air. It was before the show. We're warming up the audience, so it doesn't go out to air. And the only proof that I was on stage helping to warm up the audience is the pictures he took.
Yeah.
So I reached out to him. And turns out there's another guy with the exact spelling of the same name, same spelling, Paul Mercurio, I think. No, maybe there's a one-letter difference, but he's in Australia, and he gets it all the time. And he's a comedian. He's also a comedian. He's in Australia, and he gets the other Paul Mercurio's messages all the time. And so when I reached out to him, and I said, no, this is G.D. Fenderson. I was on the Colbert Show with you. We did the warm-up, blah, blah, blah. You said for me to reach out to you and you'd send me the pictures. And another Paul Mercurio goes, this is not that Paul Mercurio. And he says, I am a comedian, but I'm in Australia. And then he gives me the other Paul Mercurio's actual contact. And so it's like, wow. It's not me. This is who you want. But it was much nicer than it sounds like what you got. I didn't get chided or anything.
Yeah. So, I have no hard feelings against Christopher Titus. I've been told no before. The best no I ever got was Bob Saget, who just
died rather than to come on the show.
Exactly. It was pretty close before the time he died. And he said, maybe at another time. I'm really busy right now. I'm on the road. And then he went and died. And that's
and now he's under the road.
You didn't have to go through all that. But I understand Titus. But it's funny to me that he comes back with this like trying to say there's like another Christopher Titus who just happens to be listed on all these show business sites as the way to contact him, and I'm the only one that's gonna write to him. Come on.
I forgot to ask Dylan Brody if he and Jackie Martling knew each other.
I'll call him up. Get him on the phone right now. It's 6:00 in the morning or whatever it is. It's important.
It's 6:30. I don't know if he's the kind of person that feels like he has to answer his phone.
Yeah.
And then I'd be, because I'm like that. Sometimes I feel like if I check the number and somebody I know, I feel like I have to answer because why would they be calling me at this ungodly hour?
Right. I don't answer any phone calls because the spam I get is out of fucking control. Telemarketers, they subsided for some period of time, but within the last year and a half, 2 years or so, it has gotten insane. The amount of, and the times they will call. They'll call in the middle of the night. They call first thing in the morning. Doesn't matter what day of the week. And so I'm like, if your name doesn't pop up,
right,
I'm not gonna answer. If I don't know you, I'm not answering. I'm screening calls. It's back to the old tape machine. Wait for I used to remember in the day of the voicemail, the automatic voice, whatever, answering machines.
Right.
I had a 3.5 minute hypnotic induction tape that I put in there used to drive people crazy. I know you probably had something very important to talk to me about. Maybe you should think about the order of the things that you needed to talk to me about. Maybe you had 10 things, maybe 9, 8, 7. Whatever the number, it's your number. Just sit there and look at the list of things you wanted to. And by the time it got to the end, people were like, "Fuck you! I hate you, you motherfucker!" And that was pretty much it. Stopped the spam calls though, because nobody could take it. Nobody could take it. So maybe if I could come up with a voicemail greeting, that's like that.
Now I miss my old. I had an answering machine that had a 30-second output. It had a tape. 30 seconds. That's you can outgoing message. They were all 30 seconds because it was a tape. And so I had bought a bunch of tapes so I could just change the message depending on the situation. So like I had one tape for like at Halloween. Yeah, around Halloween, the music would say, "This is Halloween, this is Halloween, 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 in this town we call home," and it'd be for 30 seconds. Or at Christmas, I'd pop in a different one and we'd say, "Making Christmas, making Christmas, it's a fine," one of those things. So I had different tapes for everything, and my mother would get so fucking frustrated. She said, "Why do I have to wait all this time just to tell you to call your mother?"
It was only 30 seconds. Imagine
yeah,
3 minutes. Imagine 3 minutes what people were going through. It'd be like, "Fuck you, man." And sometimes it was just like something really important. I just got to tell you really quickly. By the way, we had the worst turnout for open mic last night. I blame Matt for cursing us on the show yesterday. I didn't curse you, did I?
Yeah, you did. I think you said by saying that Steven was going to be there, you're saying you don't want people to show up.
Well, so you shouldn't be blaming me. You should blame Steve. You should put it on the marquee. No fat Amish potatoes will be here tonight. I'm sorry about that. I'm really sorry.
I should credit that. The photo behind me, I'm going to have to credit Mr. Beavers for that photo. He took that photo with his phone.
Okay. What does it say on it?
Oh, it says Sunday Night Funnies.
Sunday
comedy
Night
show.
Funny. All right,
Yeah.
That's nice. Well, I apologize for fucking up your open mic night there. But listen, maybe it didn't have anything to do. I'm sure Michigan doesn't listen to me. None of the other states listen to me. Why would Michigan listen to me? But there's other things going on where people might just feel like I'm dragging. It's change of seasons. It's all the news, all the bullshit that's going on in the world, and Napo. That's what it is. So you didn't drive all the way to Michigan. Why didn't you drive to Michigan last night?
I was busy getting in trouble. I was busy
talking
getting in
to
trouble
Bill
with
and
my
Brody.
wife.
Yeah, I'm on the interstate. That's my driving on the interstate wheel. So it must be going around in circles. Whatever. I'm an idiot. Just fucking shoot.
Well, and since Slap Taylor's in the audience, I'm gonna run this by you guys. Sometimes during the workshop, Dylan will come up with a premise, like a setup, and then we write the joke that goes with it. A joke to go with it, or whatever.
Big fun.
And so he said, "Show me a man with a dark fetish," and then I wrote, okay, so this is how I finished it. Okay, show me a man with a dark fetish, and I will show you a man who does not know how to apply sunblock. Okay, well, I thought it was funny.
Apply sunblock. Apply sunblock.
And that's why his fetish is dark. He doesn't know how to apply sunblock.
I get it. I think.
Yeah.
Wait. That would make him red. Wouldn't that make him red? All right. Well,
and so so now the other two people had their mics on mute because I was talking, and you could see them laughing. And Dylan goes, "No, No, that's not. No, that doesn't work.
You're not
No.
allowed to laugh. You're not allowed to
No,
laugh.
no, he couldn't hear them laughing. So in his mind, nobody laughs. So it's like nobody's laughing. That's not funny. And he goes, no, that's no, doesn't even make sense. No, I said, oh, it makes sense to me.
Well,
and I realized I meant to, and I left out a word. The word's supposed to. I said it to you the way I said it last night. The way I wrote it down was he doesn't know how to properly apply sunblock, but that's the same thing. It's an extra word, and Dylan does like the extra words anyway. He would have probably told me to take the word out.
What the hell is the?
But one of the things, I did learn something last night, because when they were watching my open mic video, I did basically 3 different pieces from 3 different parts of a show that I'm working on, and they weren't tied together. I was trying to work out little segments, and I noticed that in my mind, when I do a show, I try to create it's like a piece of music, man. I'm sure you understand it. You're writing a piece of music. You have all this instrumentation in there, the vocals, backing vocals, lead vocals, harmonies, and different, maybe a meter, maybe rhythm and counter rhythms and stuff like that. And if you take one piece out and just listen to it, it doesn't make sense because it's it's like, what are you doing here? All I hear is tick-a-tat, tick-a-tat, tick-a-tat. I don't understand. What's that? What's tick-a-tat? Because you took it out of spot. You took it out of place. You have to have the entire piece together so that the whole song makes sense. And I think that's how comedy is. You have to take it as a whole. If you take it apart too much and look at individual pieces that just don't, that aren't strong enough by themselves, it's not funny. It's not going to work.
We have a. I'm sorry to change the subject. I'm just things are coming across my screen right now. We have a serious what the fuck problem, a pedophile problem, kitty fucking problem in America. That
is it serious?
Yes, it's serious. The judge, remember Dylan Roof guy, Dylan, one of mass shooters, South Carolina.
Yeah.
The judge in his case, who called him his family victims. His family weren't victims. The kids he shot were victims. People, but the judge has been found to have been arrested for possession of child sex abuse images. The guy in the podcaster shooting last week, the guy who said, "I did it, shoot me. I did it. I did it, shoot me." That guy, when he was saying that, it must have slipped his mind that his phone was full of child porn images. So when they took him into the police station, they didn't charge him with murder but he's now arrested for child porn trafficking. It just slipped his mind that he had a phone full of fucking child porn stuff. We have a series, and I don't. What is it about kids? I mean, Louis C.K. has a fucking joke about it, like it must be fucking amazing when people know what the consequences are, but they do it anyway. But I can't see it being amazing. Kids don't know how to. If I didn't know how to fuck when I was a kid, and I wouldn't have been any good at it. And I'm sure even there are some teenage girls who probably look like women, but they don't know how to use what they got. More not so. I just don't get it. Why do we have? And we talk about it with Epstein, but nobody's doing anything about it with Epstein. And why? What's it going to take for us to stop fucking kids? Or even the pictures of kid beating off the kid porn, kiddie porn. What's wrong?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure we're going to get that from the Trump administration, because for one thing, Trump has too many friends that are doing it, and one of his biggest allies, Saudi Arabia, pretty much sanctions kitty fucking. Yeah. So we're not going to get it in this administration. Over the next 4 years, it's not going to happen. We're going to have to get.
I don't think it has to come from the government. I think there's something wrong with us as people. Obviously, it's predominantly men who get engaged in that kind of stuff, the pictures and stuff like that. But we also have all these high school teachers who are fucking boys in their class and women. It's just like, I understand youth we all look better when we're young. Youth looks fluffy and new, like a puppy. A puppy looks better than a worn-out dog. But I just don't get where people's minds are at, how they think that they get addicted to images of children or just even wanting to be with children. It's just like, come on, man. You can wait if you can't wait till they're 18. Well, I thought I had a lack of patience. Come on, 18 is not asking too much. I'm sorry. So, but we have a problem, and we're not addressing it. We keep sweeping it under the rug, like, oh yeah, it's somebody else's problem. It's somebody. Oh, another guy shows up, and then every day in the headlines there's somebody, pedophilia, child pornography, whatever. It's too much, man. No wonder our kids are growing up shooting each other and shooting people. I'm sorry, I'm off the soapbox now. What's funny? Is there anything funny? There's nothing funny.
Slaptail just introduced his version or his response to show me a man with a dark fetish, and I'll show you a man who buys his headstones in bulk.
Buys his headstones in bulk. Buys his headstone in bulk. I don't know. I don't know. It looks like somebody's trying to steal your award.
Well, he had to have a 90-minute show. That's one of the qualifications.
You got to do that for 90 minutes, that kind of stuff for 90 minutes, and then you'll be recognized.
Yeah.
Nobody even bothered talking about the Emmys, right? Nate Bargatze and his.
I didn't hear anything about it.
So that means he must have done a good job, or maybe I don't know.
I don't know. The only thing I read about in detail, I read that the Colbert Show got an Emmy. John Oliver got an Emmy, and that one of the things that Nate Bargatze is pronounced Bargatze.
Yeah, Bargatze. He says Bargatze. I think some of the talk show hosts say Bargatze, and he doesn't.
Okay, well, if he says Bargatze, I'll say Bargatze. About Nate Bargatze, apparently he had donated or was offering to donate $100,000 to some charity, and if a person gave their acceptance speech went over 45 seconds, he was going to take money away from the charity.
Right.
But if they went under 45 seconds, he would add more money to the charity.
Wow.
And so John Oliver apparently went like way under the 45 seconds trying to get it up. It was like get the charity up. Yes, it was apparently he was very fast talking and very brief. So, but that's all I know. And literally, that's everything I know about the Emmys.
Well, Stephen Colbert applied for a job. If anyone's out there knows of any job openings, which is tongue in cheek, I guess he's probably. But that's just so strange to get fired and then win an award for the best thing that you just got fired from.
Yeah.
On that note, the guy who really fired him, Larry Ellison, has overtaken Elon Musk as the richest man in the world.
When? Because I thought Musk just took it back.
I don't know.
I thought Musk, because I was going to do a story on it. Matter of fact, I wrote about it for the Reverend and for one of his sermons, but didn't use it.
I was just in the news yesterday, but
I mean, maybe it's close enough that they can battle back and forth because it wasn't by much. It's because the headline says that Musk recaptures richest man in the world title, but not by much.
Net worth of Larry Ellison now is $363.1 billion.
And I thought and I thought Musk was at 3.9.
Yeah. Does that change day by day? I guess it does change by day by day.
Yeah, because a lot of it's not real money. It's not like they're sitting on cash in a vault. It's a lot of their wealth is based on stocks and stuff like that. So if you lost a lot of money in stocks, let's say in one day, you could, drop you, and then if you get the money back in stocks the next day, so it fluctuates.
Good morning, sunshine. And
Good
I'm talking
morning,
to you.
sun. Good day,
I was
sunshine.
talking to you. Oh, is sunshine with us? No, I was just kidding. But Oracle, Larry Ellison, Oracle. I've been in software and technology my whole life. I still have no fucking idea what Oracle does. They're not they're a server technology, but they're not any operating system that people use. What?
I don't.
How the fuck do you
It may
make
not be
300?
it may not be an operating system. It may be just, I don't know, like like OBS. Well, that's an operating system. Maybe I'm thinking Oracle may work with some other kind of thing. I don't know. I don't know what
Yeah.
Oracle does, but and I don't want to say I'm old. Use that as an excuse for not knowing. I just didn't give a shit.
And his stake, I think, is like 40% of Oracle. So 300, and that's all he does. That's where he made all his money. It's not like Musk, who PayPal and whatever different places that he made the money from.
Government contracts.
Yeah, but Oracle, 40% of Oracle is what got him to $383 billion of net worth. And I still have no fucking idea what Oracle does, because I don't know anybody who would use that technology, that use it for anything. He's 81 years old. He's gonna there's gonna be some fighting over his will. 308, like, wow. What do you do with 300 when you die? Because he's 81. He's gonna kick the bucket, thinking, unless he thinks he's gonna buy himself.
Well, Putin was caught on the hot mic saying to Xi in China that with you could get that your people living longer all the time, and if you start transplanting the organs from young people, you could live almost forever. So so it almost sounds like rich people are planning on harvesting the organs of young people so that they can live longer.
Been going on in China for a long time. I think I posted a picture in the last 6 months and talked about it. It came up in my memories. My wife was going for she was teaching nursing, and she was going for some certification in Manhattan. I took her to the class, and I just hung around in Union Square Park while she was taking this class for 2 days. And while I was in the park, there were some Chinese women doing this for 12 hours a day. And finally, I said, I walked over and I said, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Now, did you say that in English, or did you try to?
No, I said it in English. I said, "Did
Okay.
somebody score a touchdown? What the fuck?" I mean, we get it, but okay. And they said they were protesting. China is harvesting organs from living people. They put people in concentration camps, grow them to adult size. Oh, okay, we're ready for a liver. Let's kill this one and take a liver for rich people, for the rich people over there to help them live forever, not forever, but prolong their lives. They were harvesting actual humans as livestock and for their organs. And when they need an organ, we'll go take somebody out and execute them. I was like, how is this not like a major human rights story that we're talking about all the fucking time? So you know what? It's basically like that has been going on. So why Putin would say that to Z now? Does Putin not know about this stuff? Because they've been there. They're still there in Union Square Park. I mean, if we did a live stream cam of Union Square Park right now, somebody would definitely. It's definitely on one of the.
It's funny. Bearlove says organs are now being harvested on battlefields in every conflict.
Yeah.
Back and this is back when we had you had the Atari computers. Yeah. I was developing a game called Medical Mercenaries, and one of the plots of the game is that every hospital has its own army, and every hospital is owned by a billionaire, and so the armies go out and they look for organs for that hospital, for organ donations. And one of the things that if you lose a soldier, if a soldier gets wounded, you had to decide which way the soldier was more valuable, as an organ donor or as a soldier. Yeah. Do you help him get better because he's that good of a soldier, or do you harvest his organs? That was one of the options in my game. And this was back when Atari was still we didn't have enough processing power to do what we were trying to do.
Well, Atari, 8-bit computers or whatever. Yeah, really. I got to say this, and I don't want to. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I gotta tell the truth. Every time, this is why I have not been reading. I saw the comment from Bear Love. Every time we read a comment from Bear Love, I get more than a few emails of people saying that guy, he's wrong about everything, and they fact check it, and they have me like, I don't want to get involved in fact checking fucking comments from the fucking chat room. Give me a break. I have enough trouble keeping my own fucking story straight. But it's like the thing with Blind Mike, people writing to me about what he's saying. Please, I got enough to fucking do without hearing what you think I need to be upset about. I find my own things to be upset about. But so, Bear Love, I like you as a person, but I'm not reading your comments.
You
GD
caused Matt grief.
Yeah, exactly. Send the fucking comments about what he just said to GD, not to me.
No, send them to the Reverend, because the Reverend doesn't get enough emails. That way he can read them on the air.
Yeah.
Send your hate mail to Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll, ROLLE @gmail.com. Send them there. And he would love to get more emails so he can read them on. Yeah.
That one that's scrolling across the bottom right now. Use that
one. Is it scrolling across the bottom? Scrolling across the bottom.
Yeah. So I appreciate Bear Love as a person, but as a commenter, I'm never reading his comments again. It causes me fucking grief. You're right. That's exactly the best way to put it. It's like, wait a minute. Now I got 6 or 7, and 6 or 7 is putting it kindly. 6 or 7 more emails saying, fuck that guy. What does he do? Do you think he knows shit? And he don't know shit. I'm like, oh, come on, man. Why did you fucking write to him? He's easy to find. He's on Facebook. Go argue with him. Speaking of Dr. Jelly Roll, which we still have the thing going across. Where's my friends request thing on Facebook? I have delinquent friend requests on Facebook. Here, friends is a friend. Here it is. But we're not seeing all of them. Yeah, here you go. I'm going to share this. This is kind of funny. I think it's kind of funny. Don't you think it's kind of funny? Why aren't you laughing if you think it's kind of funny?
I think it's hilarious. I just haven't seen what you're talking about yet.
All right. That's good. This is what I'm talking about. What am I here?
Okay. There's three different jelly rolls.
And none of them have a face or any other friend.
Or an E.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because that's how Jelly Roll spells his name. But I mean, why am I? And the real Jelly Roll on Twitter, and then another fake Jelly Roll who had a picture of him who was using it and had some followers. But there are so many fake Jelly Rolls, and why are they coming after me? I mean,
probably because you're friends with the other Jelly Roll, even though you're probably on Facebook friends.
Yeah. Well, Matt would censor me. Now, censor you is not exactly it. I would say get your own place to piss people off. That's what I would say. I mean, I piss enough people off with my own mouth. I take responsibility for what I say, and even that fucking is a burden and way too much time out of my life. I'm not answering Bear Love's fucking disgruntled followers. So I'm just not doing it. That's not censorship. That's just avoiding something I don't want to get involved in. It's not my thing. It's not my to clean up. It's your thing to clean up.
Okay, so again, now, but in all fairness, because I'm just saying, Bear Love did write this. The Palestinians dug up a mass grave that Israel left, and the organs were harvested. Okay, now here's the problem. We don't know why they harvested the organs. I'm not saying that they weren't harvested, but if you're going to cook a person, I think the best things to eat are like the liver, the kidney, stuff like that. maybe some of the muscle. I don't. I'm just saying maybe it wasn't that they were trying to harvest them for transplants. Maybe they harvested them for nutrition. And I don't know who harvested them. I'm not
Neil
saying it was
Young. It was Neil Young.
Neil Young. Well, he did it. Then he did it to make music.
Yeah.
Which explains why the drum sounds so flat and wet.
Fine. All right, that's the show for you, folks. I don't know. I just don't know. But
do you know if Elizabeth is going to do the news straight or if she's going to be snarky?
I told her to do whatever she wants to do.
Yeah, but do you know what she's going to do?
No, I don't. She asked me several times, like, how I want it, what style. I don't care. What I care about most is having a few seconds to kind of transition between the opening and playing the music and all that stuff.
So it's okay if she does a 3-minute one.
I know she knows. She asked me how long. 2 to 5 minutes. I said 2 is good. Shorter would be better.
Okay.
So yeah, no, this is News in 60. That's why I love that so much. It was just like 60 seconds to get do what the buttons I got to put. And even then, sometimes I often fuck.
Well, that's why I figured 3 or 4 minutes was okay because you didn't listen to the end anyway. And if you needed more time, it was there. But
no, it's not about listening to the end. It's about the buttons. Now, fucking StreamYard keeps moving shit around. The buttons, the 3 buttons for the songs and sound effects.
It's bad enough for the loop thing. I still don't know. I don't know which way the loop is on or off. I can't tell.
The loop thing, when you press it, it's supposed to loop. When you leave it unpressed, but sometimes it's backwards. You never fucking know.
Yeah, I don't know. So I don't. I have to listen to see what's going. Okay, kill it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why every morning I think I'm testing the bum's going to stop. Oh no, and it seemed like it stopped, but then it starts up again. So like, it's exhausting keeping up with the technical stuff.
Speaking of technical stuff, I got up this morning around I guess around 7 or so. Actually, I was already up, but I got out of bed around 7, and I started updating my website. Because there's like I update shows and stuff like that, but one thing I hadn't updated for a while was my karaoke songbook. And I hadn't done a new picture for my urn in a while. So I can have 101 uses for my urn. I haven't done a new picture for that for a while. Sometimes I just rearrange the pictures so that it looks like there's something new. It's like, because I don't think anybody's ever looked through all of the pictures. You've been
slacking, is what you're saying. You've been slacking.
Yeah. And part of that was because I was redesigning. I'm supposed to be creating a website that's more booker friendly as opposed to a fan page, which is what I have. And so it was just too much webbing stuff, and my brain was just like, I can't take it. Actually, I got stuck because I wanted a new headshot. Oh. Because my old headshot, my hair is not as gray, and the person says, you should have a picture that's more up to date so that they know.
That's the thing that gets me with watching a piece that you taped in 2016. They can't tell that that's not at all recent. Like, wait a minute. You look. I'm sorry. You've aged 10 years. 10 years.
Oh yeah. And I was heavier too.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, if you can't tell, well, I was going to say you got to be blind.
What's this?
That's unfortunate.
What's he saying about blindness? Who would he be addressing that to?
I have no idea.
I'm
sorry. I'm just rude. I'm just a rude person. I'm rude and careless and not very funny. So what are you gonna do?
You should take the humor workshop on Tuesday nights.
No. What? You don't want. I don't want to ask you what it costs, but I'm curious about what it costs. Because his time is worth money,
Yeah.
and I don't know exactly how much money. That's
And I don't know that everybody's paying the same price.
And how long is it? How many time?
90 minutes. It's 90 minutes, and it's he does it on Saturday and on Tuesday. I don't do the Saturday thing. Because he does it on Saturday, what would be like the time that my wife and I are doing grocery shopping.
Yeah. So somebody, Mark Caputo, he's arguing with me about Charlie Kirk, saying he wasn't a racist and blah blah blah. Reread what I wrote.
Okay, fuck them. Fuck people who think he wasn't a racist. Fuck them.
Right?
All.
No, this is just such bullshit. Again, there is no context in which you're stealing a white person's job. Affirmative action means you're stealing a white person's job. There is no fucking context, and I watched the whole context. But there is no context that would make that a non-racist statement. To assume that a job is a white person's job there to be stolen from a white person is absolutely racist, no matter what you go on to say after that or what you said before that. It turns out what he said before that was these four black women did not have the brain processing power to compete or understand what he was saying or compete for the job. You have to steal a white person's job. And there is no context. You can take away all the other nonsense that people want to argue about. There is no fucking context in the universe that makes that non-racist. There just is none. But actually he was, here's the thing, he was saying about, he was right. Mark Caputo guy is saying last week, he before any evidence was out, he came out and said, he was quoting anonymous sources that said this motive was transgender based. And then this guy came out, I don't know who this person is, who's given the press briefing, a DA or somebody, prosecutor, who came out and was talking about the roommate being a trans person. And I said, where is the evidence that this guy is really trans? And he said, well, reread what I wrote and then listen to the guy talking. And the guy just says the guy's transgender. I said, well, that's not enough for me, because the person still calls himself Lance. No transgender male to female keeps their male name when they're doing that. They go to whatever, they make up a female name and adopt that. Plus, I've heard the guy talk, and he talks like Barry White on fucking steroids. You know what I'm saying? That's not what a trans person would do. So just having an authority say, well, this is a trans person. No, I think he's a furry, because in the thing where he's talking like this, he's got a furry costume on. I think they're definitely furries, which is very fucking, it's weirder than for old boomers like me to understand the furry fetish. It's harder to understand transgenderism than understanding transgenderism. I can understand transgenderism. I don't say I know everything about it, but I understand why they're doing that. Why you'd want to be a furry, beyond me. But the kid's dressed up in a furry hat, and he's talking with a very low voice, and he's calling himself Lance. I still don't. I want to see something that is more well. And so he just came back to me now. He said, "Well, unlike you," and this makes no fucking sense to the conversation. By the way, the conversation was, "Is there proof this guy's transgender?" And the guy just comes back with, what did he say? Where is it? Oh, it's over here. He says, unlike you, I was on Charlie's show and talked with him about the Epstein files. What the fuck does that have to do with whether or not this is a trans person? And
speaking of, okay, I think that's very relevant. What you're saying, Matt, it's relevant is this. Hello, Ann in California. Ann's on the line in Bakersfield, California. Good morning, Ann. Just as relevant. When are you going to realize you can't make sense out of the senseless?
Yeah.
Some people are just stupid.
Yeah. So, they was clearly right from the beginning wanted this to have some trans.
Yeah,
element to it.
That's exactly what I wrote the very next morning.
Why?
They're trying to manufacture. They're trying to manufacture a transgender liberal minority connection. The only thing they didn't.
Trans is the new Jew.
The only thing that they haven't so far is the minority connection. That's the only thing they don't have yet. Slaptail says, going to ask my trans friend to do a podcast with you and the squad, and you can ask all your strange questions.
Well, that's fine. I had several trans people on this program many times. Those people can't answer the questions that I want answered. The questions I want answered have nothing to do. I'm fine with trans people living their life however they want to do. The questions I have are for the administration and for the Republicans and the MAGA people who want to find that trans people are the devil. Trans people are the thing we need to be afraid of. Trans people are the problem. Trans people are the scapegoat that we need to be afraid of. Has nothing to do with asking. And trans people can't answer that question. The people who hate trans people can answer that question. So if you can get me a fucking MAGA retard who wants to say that trans people are killing people in crazy numbers, that's who I want to fucking ask the question to. Like, why the fuck are you so dead set on making trans people the bad guy in every scenario? I'm not saying you have to love them. I'm not saying you have to go move in with one or be friends with them. I'm saying, why are you dead set on trying to pin everything on trans people all of a sudden? And I come back to what I just said. Trans people are the new Jew. Hitler had the Jews as the scapegoat. For some reason, trans people are that. They are the people that are the root cause of all our problems in society, according to Donald Trump's administration and the people who are serving him. So if you can get me those people to talk to, I have a lot of strange questions for them. Like, did a trans person fucking hurt you somehow? Were you, I don't know, abducted, whatever, molested by a trans person? Why do you hate them so much? If you don't like them, don't deal with them. Don't hang out with them. Like GD right now is petting his pussy.
How could you tell?
I could smell it.
You hear it purring?
No, I could smell it.
See, I hadn't talked. If I don't talk for a while, she thinks I'm not busy, and so she comes in and wants me to play with her.
Oh, that's a good excuse to keep talking.
I know. It's the best one.
All right. Go ahead. Say what you want to say.
Well, I just opened my mouth, so I just bought 5 minutes.
All right. There you go. Yeah, so it's not like I've had plenty of trans people on here. There's no questions I need to ask them. I don't have to understand them. I have a friend, a very close friend, who has a son or had a son who had played music with us. Very masculine young man, and then like 6 or 7 years ago started experimenting with cross-dressing and whatever, and now is a complete woman. I mean, transition to a woman. But again, his voice changed. He started taking hormones. He doesn't talk like this anymore. She doesn't talk like this anymore. And the muscles, the big old muscles, are now gone. Somehow the arms are very feminine and all that stuff. They don't. And this is what I'm saying about this kid, Lance. They don't keep that male name. I'm sure if John has trans friends, they're not still calling themselves Ralph or Bill or Matt or Glenn or any of these fucking things. Glenn becomes Glendora, right? Or Ed Wood, Glenn or Glendora.
Oh, that's Glenn Close. Like, because Glenn Close is still Glenn.
Yeah. Yeah. Carol O'Connor was still Carol.
Yeah.
He's dead.
So it depends on the name.
All right.
I know a guy whose name was Blair. His name was Blair. And he became, he transitioned over to becoming a woman. And he didn't keep the name Blair. He changed the name. And I was thinking, really? because even when he was a guy and he was
I
the
think
name
your
was
parents
Blair.
were ahead of the curve.
Yeah,
They
and even then, even when he was a guy and he was still well. This was back when people weren't using pronouns like they are now. He was still wearing eye makeup and stuff like that, and he would never say that he was, anything other than a guy who just liked
yeah.
to wear makeup, and his name was Blair.
I was bringing the pronoun stuff up because all week long they were saying they killed him. I was like, oh, it's nice that you're starting to use the pronouns now that it's convenient for you. But and this is the problem here. Brian is here. We can bring him in 1 minute. But like Pam Bondi is still saying they. Well, you're prosecuting him. He. So if you're saying they, and because you're going to plan on giving the entire left the firing squad because that's what they killed him, and Utah is still a firing squad. So you're going to firing squad the entire left because that's what you're saying killed him, not this one guy.
And I wonder if his attorneys, because I don't know because I didn't catch his arraignment yesterday. I didn't catch it. So I don't know if his attorney is going to at some point say, I want this dropped because they haven't made that. They're still saying that there are other people involved. They keep saying they did it. So I don't know.
Isn't it funny how because generally those arraignments, they get covered, right? There's no cameras.
It depends on jurisdiction. Each jurisdiction has its own way of doing it.
All right.
Like they did it. Theirs was over Zoom because they were afraid of safety. Safety.
All right. You want to introduce Brian?
Sure.
Let me take this banner out and put his banner in. Go ahead. You do the honors here.
Okay. Joining us today, our guest today is comedian and show producer Brian B. out of Michigan. We met in a very wealthy neighborhood.
Oh.
Yeah, very wealthy neighborhood a couple of weeks ago when I was up for Jackie's Q&A. Brian was doing the video and he asked me politely if I would just keep my face away from his camera because he didn't want it broken. And that sparked a very deep personal friendship that we've had for a very long time now, almost 2 weeks.
Very long time.
He is the host of Sunday Night Funnies, which is on that car right behind me, and he'll tell us a little bit more.
Okay.
Brian, if you're ready, just give me a thumbs up and I'll bring you in.
I think his thumb is up. That's up. Well, no. I thought his thumb was up. He was doing the camera.
Just in the camera.
Brian, can you hear us? We can't hear you.
You're muted, Brian, if you're...
Yeah, it's a muted thing. Nope. Mute. Oh, he's on the phone, right? Oh, maybe we should take him out while he fucks with this stuff.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to make him feel uncomfortable about this. How do we know that it's working, though?
He'll give us the thumbs up when he's ready.
We don't know. His thumb is up. He's doing this.
I think he's trying to adjust his face. He may not,
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Brian B.
Brian B. Yes.
Oh, I got the wrong banner in there again. Oh, because I'm over here. Show. There you go. That's to his podcast, Sunday Night Funnies. Sunday night. Good night for comedy. Why isn't more stuff happening on Sunday nights?
Because of football.
Really?
I don't know. I just know that
overlap there.
They have Sunday night football, and it's football right now. Like there was a place that we used to go for an open mic, and I think it was on Sunday nights. And when I think I'm trying to remember. I can't remember the. I should check my video. I think it was a Sunday night because I think it was Sunday night football, and they had to cancel it during football season because.
It looks like he's not muted. Let's go.
Hey, how's it going, Brian?
Good morning, Brian.
Hey, good morning. Sorry.
What's to be sorry about? There's nothing to be sorry about. This is a technically challenging thing, and future people will look back and say, "Look at these dorks not knowing how to do the basic live stream stuff." To all of us. So anyway, good morning. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. I get an extreme close up because my speaker is not that loud. And I hate to mess around with the settings right now, so I'm going to hold it real close.
All right, that's fine. Just don't do the up nostril shot because that's a little uncomfortable. So Sunday Night Funnies. This is a running podcast. How long have you been doing that?
Well, it's not a podcast. It's a live comedy show.
Oh, but it's on podcasting platforms like Podchaser, has it listed?
Well, I did. I think it was like 2 podcasts, 3 podcasts. Little backstory. I usually edit. I do a TV show with it. I record the show. I record the live show, and I edit it down to a half hour. I always say I do like a best of each week, so you'll never see me in it. But I used to edit at 2 different places, GRTV, where I edit now, and I used to edit at Wyoming Cable, which is like walking distance from where I do the shows at. And they were pushing me to do a podcast. So I said, okay, I'll do a podcast. And I'd have comics come in. I called it Sunday Night Funnies A to Z. And I'd interview these comics. And I think 2 of them I recorded, and they were a live stream, not live, but, edited recording. And then there was 2 of them that they accidentally deleted. And they were both comics from out of town, so it really made me mad that they were so cavalier about that. So I quit doing the podcast with them. But I don't really do a podcast anymore. I just done a couple of those where I do the TV show, which I have close to 500 episodes of the Sunday Night Funnies on YouTube.
Right. Oh, well, you know what? YouTube will automatically, this is why, because I was just going to say to you, somebody is still taking the audio of that and feeding the podcast feed, but YouTube puts out an RSS feed. Apparently, that's what some of these distribution networks are picking up, because there is more than 400 episodes in there.
Oh, wow. See, I didn't even know that. I got to look into that. Somebody must be making money off of me,
Nah. Well, I don't know. You'd have to be monetized on YouTube first. I'm not sure exactly how that works. Some of the platforms, like Spotify, has monetization stuff, but I think you have to be signed up through creators for Spotify to do that. Anyway, so it was intended to be a live show, and you're just taking that content and repurposing it for online. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I have a 1-camera shoot that I do, and I record the whole TV show. And then I edit it. I record the whole comedy show, and then I edit it down to a half-hour TV show.
All right.
And
cool.
There's not really a rhyme or reason. Sometimes I take a little bit from, most of the comics, or if somebody's having a superset, then I'll feature like 2 or 3. So all depends on my mood of the day. But it's I've had comics say, "Oh, I have a woman that follows me in Russia, that watches your show," or "I got a gig because they saw me on your TV show," So,
wow.
But I do a live stream of it on Facebook as well. But then I also video record it and then make the TV show out of it.
All right, very cool. Have you had, I want to say, headliner, like names that any names that people would know, like major names in comedy?
I've had a local guy I've had several comics that do it for a living. There was one guy named Craig. I think his name was Craig Guess.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know him. He does the voice for American Dad.
No, he's the second baseman for the Mets.
For 8 years, I was at this hotel here in town, and it was great because being like a glorified open mic show, I could give free hotel rooms to comics. So I used to have comics that came from all over and do the show. I had 4 guys drive up from Alabama And I had a woman fly in from Jersey that I picked up at the airport. And I mean, they're doing this for free. None of the comics get paid to do the funnies. And I believe it was Craig. It was so long ago. Did the show, and I gave him some stage time. And sometimes I get comics that perform at the local club, Dr. Grins, that stay around for one more day and do the show. But they don't like me promote it because they want people to come pay and see them at Dr. Grins as opposed to come to my show and see them for free. Right. And they don't do like a full set that they do at Grins, but they'll do like 10, 15 minutes, So, I've had, it's more like who I've had in the audience. I've had the Harlem Globetrotters twice in the audience. They had their outfits on and everything. And then I had a Pink Floyd tribute band named Brit Floyd, who was in the audience, who was staying at the hotel and doing a show at local arena the next night, So I've had kind of celebrities in the audience as well. So
tribute band doing a show in an arena. This is the thing now. We have this is where we've gotten where cover bands make believe versions of every band is packing arenas and major theaters. It's good for them. I mean, I don't begrudge them at all. It's very weird because sometimes the ticket prices are what you would pay to see the actual band.
Yeah, exactly. But a lot of these bands don't tour anymore, so that's the closest you're going to get. And this Brit Floyd, though, they're like the real deal. They're like approved by the members of Pink Floyd.
So many tribute bands are really quality. I mean, it's the closest thing you're going to get to the real thing without being the real thing.
Yeah. So that's what it's come to, It's like we're finding out what it's like to be aging rockers. Like a lot of times the bands out there now don't have any original members, so they're pretty much tribute bands themselves, even though they don't call themselves one.
I don't know if you know this, but GD does a Kevin Hart tribute show that is just amazing. It's basically
really.
No, I
got to see that.
Yeah, let's sell tickets for that. Come on.
Yeah, no.
He doesn't do it. He hates Kevin Hart with a passion. He wants to.
Really?
He wants to fight him. He's challenged him.
I wouldn't fight him because then I'd be locked up for child abuse. I would never fight him. But
well, I think you got height and reach on him. So
yeah.
I have more than that on him, but that's just the start. That's just the start.
I think
he's got a better business sense than I have, and he got much more money than I have.
I think we hit a nerve here. I shouldn't have said Kevin Hart. I should never say Kevin Hart because it strikes a nerve.
So, Brian, I want to ask you, because when I asked you about being on the show yesterday, you said you were doing it. You were doing a show. So were you on the air live, like doing a radio show or something?
Well, it's not having to do with comedy, though. It's a community radio station that I'm on every other week. And it plays, it's commercial free, so it plays everything: jazz, rock, folk, country, bluegrass, world music, local music. In fact, my show was on last night. I'm on every other Tuesday, 9 to midnight. And I actually record it here at home because I have a microphone and I got acoustic tile up there. And I record it at home and I send the file into the station. So,
is that a college radio station, a commercial radio station?
It's called a community radio station. It's WYCE 88.1 FM. You can stream it online as well. But I was on last night, 9 to midnight. So I recorded ahead of time so I can actually listen to myself on the radio, which is kind of weird.
That is weird. It is. And then you also hear things. Okay, when you listen to yourself on the radio, do you sound like yourself? Do you recognize that voice as your voice?
Well, the thing is, growing up, I wanted to be a disc jockey, and I interned at a radio station. I had junior achievement at a radio station, and I find out, once you're doing morning drive, you're not making a lot of money, and you had to bounce around a lot. And that was back in the heyday. Now, I wouldn't have anything to do with
I
radio.
would have
But I
given
wasn't
my right nut to be a morning drive. I did plenty of radio, but it was always the morning drive thing was impossible to get. They always had that was the one position that people actually did get paid for.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Afternoons too, depending on what market you're in. But you always had to look for your next gig, and you get bounced around a lot. I didn't want to do that, but I was in sales for 12 years at a radio station, so that's how I stayed connected to it. So,
Very cool. That's fun. Now, what do you prefer? Do you make up your own playlist? And what do you prefer to play?
well, YCE, we're not called DJs, we're called programmers because we do program our own shows, but we have to play, a certain amount of all those categories I mentioned and certain amount of local music, and all that. So you're free to do what you want. And I actually kind of add stuff that I probably shouldn't add, but they haven't called me on it yet. So it's better to beg forgiveness and ask permission. Like last night I played. If you're familiar with Spinal Tap, I played Stonehenge.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
And it was just funny because I visited Stonehenge 10 years ago, twice in one day.
They don't play that song there, do they?
Yeah. Well, I have a Stonehenge shirt that I wore there, and they actually have a quote on the wall from Spinal Tap at the visitor center. So one of the employees saw my shirt and he got a big kick out of it,
Yeah.
But it was just serendipitous because my friend in England sent me a post on Facebook, and it was 10 years ago today that I was there, and I just forgot the date, and I played it on my radio show, so there was something there where, yeah, we went during the day, and we didn't pay the $35 admission fee. We walked 1 mile from the visitor center to the actual location, and we couldn't get on the grounds, but we're in this field like 20 feet away. So we saved $35. But then we had the idea, we went to a comedy show that night. We went to 3 shows in the 8 days I was there, 3 comedy shows, because my friend is really into comedy too. And we had the bright idea of like going there at night when it was all dark and sneaking in. So we parked down the road, we walked up, and we're actually walking through the fence to get in there, and then these headlights flash on from a car. They pay somebody all night to sit there in the dark to turn people away.
Wow, that should be my job. What does that pay?
I don't know, but it would be hard to stay awake, I would think,
Well, if you because I know a few people that when they were students, that's when they would do their homework, and so they would take jobs where they didn't have to really pay attention. So they can do their homework, especially now with computers and Wi-Fi. Before you had to be like a night security guard or something, and you're like doing your homework and watching the monitor, or working the late shift at the 7-Eleven or something. Nobody's coming in, but you're doing your homework, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
In fact, it's funny you mentioned that because I had a job like that when I went to Ferris State in Big Rapids. My first year there, I lived and worked at a funeral home. I lived upstairs with 2 other college students, and I worked there as well. So in fact, I do a bit about that. I go, it's one of the benefits of working at a funeral home is it's quiet. I could study. Yeah.
Creepy dudes. Listen, I have spent a period of my life working in forensic pathology and spending a lot of time in the morgue. And a bunch of guys who I worked with there had part-time jobs in funeral homes. All of them were creepy dudes. Anybody. I wouldn't want to socialize with them after work. I felt really weird just talking to them on the job. They were just creeps. So good thing. I'm curious though, how you get from aspiring to be a DJ or a guy who plays music to doing stand-up comedy. Was that something that evolved over time, or was that always in the back of your mind as a plan, or how did that come about?
Well, it kind of one lent itself to the other because when I was in sales at the radio station, it was a light rock radio station. I was there for 12 years, and I had the local comedy club as a client of mine. It was that was before Dr. Grins came to Grand Rapids. It was a place called the Comedy Den, and they had big names come in. They had Drew Carey come in and Emo Phillips and, a lot of bigger names. And they were a client of mine. And this was back in the day before the internet, where I did a promotion where they allowed me to send faxes out to offices and offer free tickets on Thursday night to build some, word of mouth for the weekend. And people could bring their office in for free on a Thursday night. So I was like faxing offices and offering this stuff to them. And then they would fax me back and tell me how many people they wanted to bring out, So I would bring out, 50, 75 people a week and help build some word of mouth for them for the weekend. So, and then, what happened, this association with the comedy club, they would let me go up on Thursday nights, and there wasn't like a lot of local people doing it. I was pretty much it, where I could just go up and do 10 minutes of stage time at the start of the show before the feature and the headliner came on. So that's kind of how I got started doing that.
Wow. That's was there ever like a, I don't know, goal plan with the comedy, or you just basically enjoy doing it and take it day by day?
Yeah, it was like I, was doing, wasn't a lot of open mics. There was that place, and then I remember there was a Holiday Inn in Holland on Wednesday nights that I would do a set at. But theirs was like, it was weird because they'd have the feature and the headliner on, and then they'd bring the amateurs on after that. And by that time, people were pretty drunk and being obnoxious, and they just wanted dirty stuff. And that room wasn't a lot of fun. So, but
are you clean? Are you work really clean, like completely clean?
No, well, I drop some swear words every now and then, but pretty much pretty clean. It just I'm just me, So it's like if it comes out, it comes out, and I can do clean. I can, I can get raunchy. Depends on what the show requires.
Do you do music on stage? Because I think that I've found several images of you playing an accordion, a squeeze box. Is that something you do? I mean, what am I looking at there?
No, well, there was a local magazine, Grand Rapids Magazine, was going to do a story on the show, and I'm not big in promoting myself. I'm more into promoting the show, and I didn't want to just send them photos of comics that do the show, because then you get a comic to just say, "Oh, how come you didn't send them my photo?" And I'd send them like the sunny image, the emoji. We want a photograph. So I quick threw together, because I'm a photographer too. I quick threw together the photo of me playing the accordion with the boxing gloves on, and that was a photo I sent them to use for their story, and then I would use that as a headshot as well. So,
I have a question about the shows you do to benefit cancer. Those comedy. You want to plug those real quick?
Yeah, I had cancer back in 2011, 2012. I call it my 6-month, $60,000 inconvenience.
Did you smell like coffee?
What's that?
Did you smell like coffee when you had the cancer?
I don't know. Nobody ever told me that. Nobody was sniffing me. Nobody was sniffing me.
Well, I'm just curious, personal reason, but go ahead, continue. I'm sorry.
I've never had anybody ask me that. I'm drinking coffee right now.
Well, I was going off this morning about my wife saying I smell like coffee, and somebody and a medical professional in our chat room said it's cancer. It's cancer.
A medical professional that you actually know.
Yes. So
I'm drinking coffee from my Sunday Night Funny coffee mug right now.
Oh,
you didn't give me one of those. You didn't give me one of those when I was up there. I had to settle for a picture with the car.
Yeah. Is that
I've only got 2 of them. So.
Oh, you don't have like a store where you're selling those, or?
No, I had like a credit with Office Depot, so I'll get a couple mugs made. And actually, I'm going to. I do have a mascot costume. I actually have a mascot costume of that, and I'm redoing the head on it. to make it much smaller so it sits on the shoulders as opposed to goes down to the
I
waist.
thought that was Stephen Ortiz who had modeled for that. I'm sorry, you don't know.
Big Poppy.
Yeah. Oh, you do know.
Yeah, I'm remaking the mask myself because of a friend of mine who wears it. Like, oh man, it gets awful hot in there, and you can't see anything, and so I'm redoing the mask myself. So I'm going to say he went on Ozempic and lost weight.
All right. I interrupted you while you were talking about the cancer.
Yeah. So 2011, 2012, I had cancer. It's called squamous cell carcinoma, and it was in my neck and my throat. And coincidentally, 2012 was the very first Laugh Fest, which is put on by Gilda's Club, and they're a organization that people can go to if they have cancer or they know somebody who has cancer or lost somebody to cancer, and they do these annual comedy shows. And doing my Sunday at Funnies, I got associated with them and would do benefits for them and raise money for them. And then, like 3 years ago, I've had enough comics do the funnies where I've had enough comics who have had cancer to put on a special show for them. So I approached them about doing it, and it's called the Cancer Survivor Showcase. And I MC it, and I have like 4 other comics that come up and perform who've had some type of cancer, and or they could be having cancer at this time, and they talk about their experience, and it's not all serious. It's they find the humor in it, and it's done really well for them. They appreciate that being part of the show. So
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious because down here you can't swing a dead cat without hitting. Sorry, Elsie. You can't swing a dead dog without hitting a comedian. Now, up there, I don't know how many comedians you have in the area, and especially with those with cancer that can keep a fresh audience, not an audience, but fresh talent coming in for that show, for that showcase.
When you say talent, is that a prerequisite? Does it? Yeah, I know, but did they have to be any good? That's not generally a prerequisite around here. I mean, anybody who has the balls to do it is pretty much welcome anywhere.
Yeah, these are all comics that have done the show, before, and a few of them, they make either a living from it or they, have done a lot of paid shows. So it's not just somebody who's had cancer and comes up on stage. I have to hear their material first about it, and it's kind of like half about cancer and half about their regular routines, So, and some of them have had cancer since last year, and I kind of tease them saying like, that I had cancer 13 years ago and haven't had it since. And, you don't, you don't have to keep getting it to be in the show. You can,
okay.
you could be in the show, even though you haven't had it recently, but, and even though they haven't, like myself, haven't had it for a while, I'm still, suffering some effects from it.
Yeah.
Or you come up and do things that, you didn't think about before. So
it changes your life in a profound way, without a doubt.
It's a fun show. And, when I was waiting for the diagnosis, I go, well, if anything, it's going to be a good source of material for me. And it really was it was all stuff that was true that happened, that I talk about. So,
I'm surprised as hell that more comedians don't do it, because as a musician, several times a week, I perform in nursing homes, assisted living places, VA hospitals, and places like this. Perform for people who have debilitating diseases, cancer, all the time. And I've talked to the people who booked that, and they said, "Sure, we would love to have comedians." And I've recommended it to comedians for a long time. I've never seen one comedian like get involved in that and say, this is a good thing. First of all, you're giving back, you're helping people who are dealing with that in the moment. But at the same time, you're also improving your chops as a performer, and you feel good about it. So I don't understand why comedians are shy about doing that. Maybe it's because it's the smaller settings, but sometimes I play for rooms that have 500-600 people, depending on the size of the facility. There are opportunities there. Have you ever done any of that hospital or assisted living program type of work?
Well, it's funny you mention that because I used to work for the Michigan Home for Veterans. This was a long time ago. This is like 79 to 80. I worked in food service there while I was going to college at night, and then I quit to go to college full time. But I've got like an email I started to the Michigan Veterans Home, and I wanted to reach out to them and say, hey, I do this comedy show. If you want to bring them out to the show, or if you want us to come there and do a show, I would do that. So I've got it started. I just haven't gotten around to Sunday yet, but I wanted to reach out to them because it's literally like 5 minutes away from me, and I have a history with it. I worked there. My mother worked there for like 16 years. I lived like a walking distance away from it, so, and I have my mom's house is still a rental property for me. So it's been in my life for quite a while.
Wow.
And got to be friends with some of the people that live there, as well as people I worked with, So I've been meaning to reach out to them. So it's funny you bring that up. I'm going to do it soon.
I think Slaptail, John Beavers. He said my comedy would not work in a long-term care facility. I'm not sure about that, John. I mean, listen, what do I know? But I have, like, just last week, I was playing an event unit, and a guy who was basically on tubes and everything and only had one good eye. And the nurse's aide said, and he couldn't speak. And the nurse's aide said he likes Queen. And I said to him, you think I can't play a fucking Queen song? And she said, he's laughing at that. I'm like, how do you know he's laughing at that?
Yeah.
We blinked one eye. And then I said, I could play a fucking Queen song. She said, now he's laughing really hard. I was like, I haven't seen any change. And then she said, well, you got to stand on this side so he can see you and all this stuff. I think they're a lot more open and forgiving in long-term because they don't take life seriously when you're dying or like hospice, especially. There are no rules. You could say whatever the fuck you want.
And the nice thing about that is being that they're in wheelchairs and walkers, they can't leave, so.
Yeah. There was a not classic story, but one of my most amusing stories. I was late for a gig and had to run uphill with 35-pound small PA system, my guitar, my mic stand, and all this stuff. Run up, and I'm a couple minutes late, so I'm setting up, and I'm setting up as fast as I can, and I'm not noticing the room. And I turn around, and I was going to start with my first song, and I start with Beatles with a little help from my friends, which starts out, "What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out of me?" And I open my eyes, and everybody's in a wheelchair. And most of them have no legs. Almost everybody has no legs, except one guy has a half a leg tied off at the end, like a little deli meat or something.
Sure, yeah.
And it starts bouncing up, and the little deli meat starts bouncing up and down, like keeping time for me. Yeah, so it's sad. They're a captive audience. So yeah, it's a great experience. I would say don't sell yourself short there, John. Try it anyway. My comedy would not work. It's nurses.
I'm going to do it, and I'll get back to you on that. So yeah, I've been wanting to reach out to them, and especially now because I know some older comics like myself that when I go on stage, that's pretty much what I talk about is just being older. And I think it's something that they can relate to,
Absolutely. Definitely. Now you met GD at the Jackie Q&A thing, Jackie Martling. At Wealthy.
Yeah, that's where I met GD. So
were you a fan of Jackie Martling, or are you just going there to support John Beaver's show, or what was?
Well, I knew of him, but I was actually doing it to record it for John Beaver. So it was a way to get into a show for free. And then also I was familiar with his work, but it was funny. My nephew was there and I didn't know he was going to go there. And he was the one that was laughing loudest. So
I think Jackie was the one who was laughing loud.
Yeah, Jackie was laughing pretty loud.
Jackie was enjoying it.
Yeah.
And to me, that's kind of weird to watch Jackie watching Jackie watch Jackie while he's laughing and making other people laugh at Jackie. It was like universe.
And you have to know he's seen that documentary quite a few times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he's still laughing.
Yeah.
I've seen it I've sat with 3 times. I have sat with him throughout the whole thing, and that's just scratching the surface there. He's seen it more than anybody, but yeah, and he still laughs at it every time those parts come up, and it's not a forced laugh. It is genuine. When he laughs at stuff, it is never a forced laugh. He only laughs if it's funny to him. So he's still finding his own work funny. Good for him. So now I'm surprised to hear you taped that Q&A thing. Is that going to be available to anybody, or is that just for John's private collection?
He was just looking for somebody to record it. He did a post on Facebook looking for somebody, and I just reached out to him and say, "Hey, John, I'll do it for you." He goes, "Well, how much you want?" I go, "I'll just do it for you because I have the 4K camera that I get from GRTV. And I used to have to check it out every week, and now they just said, just hold on to it. If we need it, we'll let you know. Because I use it every Sunday. So, I was familiar with the camera, and I just brought it out there and set it up, and he got an SD card, and I recorded it for him, and I just handed it over to him. And so I don't know what he's done with it or whatever, but
come on, John, give us some information over there in the chat room. Where can we see this stuff? Are you editing it? What? So this place, the television, is it a public access TV? What is it?
Yeah, I don't know if he's keeping it for his personal records or whatever. And
no, I mean the thing that you do where you do your editing in that television station, is that a public access television station?
Yeah. It's the GRTV as public access, and I put the show on there, but that's my show. That has nothing to do with the Jackie show.
I don't even know if they still have public access here, because I used to do public access way before Wayne's World. I mean, we were talking the late '80s and stuff. Public access television.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I don't know if they even have that here anymore.
Yeah. There's several. Like I used to. I run on GRTV where I do the editing. I used to be on Wyoming Cable, which is close to where I do my show at, Wyoming, Michigan. But I was running the show there, and then I got a message from like their programmer saying, "Oh, we had somebody complain about your show," because I don't edit for content. I don't take swear words out or whatever. And they got one phone call, somebody complaining, and I go, "What do you want me to do? You want me to run a disclaimer at the start of the show?" And they go, "You got to do better than that." I go, "What do you want me to do?" And they couldn't tell me, like, you know what, just take it off the air. So I'm not even in the cable in Wyoming, which is the station's walking distance from where I do the show live at. But I used to be in Lansing Cable. I used to be in Ann Arbor. But then when COVID hit, I kind of let those go by the wayside because, who knows what type of, if people were watching or not. But I'm still on GRTV. I'm on YouTube. I put it on, the link on Facebook when it's the anniversary of the show, like a year ago today or 5 years ago today, this show aired, and so it's staying alive that way. But Ann Arbor, they would run it daytime where soccer moms could watch it, and they didn't care.
Wow.
Wyoming, I don't know what their problem was, but it's like,
I don't think I'd want to be on in the daytime. I don't know. I don't know. But you've kind of inspired me a little bit here to start looking back into public. Like I could edit some content for public access just as promotional stuff for this. Because they take it, if they'll take anything you deliver to them.
Yeah, you should reach out. They're always looking, like GRTV, looking for content, and they have edit suites there. They have cameras you can borrow. They have green screen. They have studio if you were in town. But if you have a show outside the market, I'm sure they'd take a look at it. So.
Well, a lot of cable franchises had to have a local origination channel, so that as a public service,
right.
That was
I
like part
think
of their
that's a
contract.
federal law to run a cable operation. You have to make public access available to your clients. But I forgot back in the day, I was sending them out all over the country to different public access things. I thought you had to be a resident of the area they served or something, but it's something to think about. Anyway,
Like Ann Arbor, you have to have residency, but what I would do is I had a comic who lived in Ann Arbor area who kind of sponsored the show.
yeah. So
For Lansing, I didn't have to do that. So I think each area is different. It's just, it's weird.
All right. Well, it's something to think about because promotional stuff. I mean, the thing is, it's all about getting eyes and ears and attention on some of the stuff you're trying to bring to focus to people. So it can't hurt. It definitely can't hurt, especially if the content is already there. It's a matter of putting it on tape and sending it to somebody every week. Why not? Why not do that?
Yeah.
So, are you performing regularly in Grand Rapids? Do you do like every week? Do you do shows out in the clubs?
Well, my show is every Sunday. In fact, I just started getting back out there again myself because for a long time I wasn't doing other shows. I just get so busy with my show that even though it's once a week, it was like a 40-hour a week job for me. And it's just like, even on Sundays, like, okay, I got to think of something funny to say at the beginning tonight, and
it's amazing that anybody who performs gets into producing because it does suck up all your energy. And it's like, I got into it to give myself one more opportunity. And now I can't even take advantage of that opportunity.
Yeah.
I don't know why people do it. I wouldn't do it at this point.
Yeah, I did it because at the time, there was no open mics around.
Yeah.
And when I started the show 16 years ago, and then now there's, some nights got 2, there's almost every night of the week, there's a mic going on, so, but yeah, I'm just starting to get back out. I did a show last night, and at a bar in Wayland, which is like a half hour south of me. And, it is what it is. It's like, it was a nice night, people like, oh, this is going on type of thing. But I like to do interactive things with the crowd. I don't like to call it crowd work where I kind of build them into the show with the bits I'm doing. And that seems to work pretty well.
Not like I don't. Are you familiar with the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll? He does not crowd work, interactive stuff where the crowd gets involved, but it's a little risque. It's
it's very risque.
What?
It's very risque.
All right,
I'll have to look them up.
Oh, yeah. Now I'm noticing on the shelf behind you. I'm not sure if that's Oscar the Grouch or is that Gumby. What are we looking at up there? Is that Gumby? Is that Oscar the Grouch?
Oh, that's
just a cactus.
Yes, it's I go to like secondhand stores a lot and antique stores, and this was at a Goodwill store, and I got it for $1.50.
So, but now I'm even more confused. It looks like a cross between Gumby and Oscar the Grouch. I'm not even sure what that is at this point.
It's a cactus, and it repeats whatever I say.
Oh, that's cool. It's a rabbit. It's a parrot cactus. Something.
I named him Prick.
Wow.
That's Prick the cactus.
Prick the cactus. I like it.
All right, you're getting annoying, Prick. But I'm going to do like a video with him promoting the funnies where I say something, record him saying it, and I edit where he's just saying the whole thing, Yeah. So, yeah, I buy a little shit. Like I have that, and I got Jared Golf, and I got George Blaha, Mickey Lowage, Mickey Stanley, Herb Tarlick from WKRP in Cincinnati. I do a Blues Brother act with a friend of mine. Oh, by the way, GRTV Producer of the Year last year. There you go.
GRTV. What is Grand Rapids Television? That's what it stands for.
That's where I do the do the show at.
So you're a big Kitsch fan. Did you know you were a big Kitsch fan?
Oh, what fan?
Oh, exactly. Kitsch. I didn't know what it was called Kitsch until like a month ago. I did a interview with Karen Jonas, who's a tribute to American Kitsch is her album. But all that stuff, the knickknacks, all those things we put on shelves, it's called Kitsch, Kitsch. And we were having a discussion about this. Like, if America were to go away tomorrow, there would be a landfill, Mount Everest high, of kitsch, of stuff that we buy, that it's meaningless little stuff that we put on shelves. How much stuff is in my house that it's like you don't even notice it anymore. Like, I'm sure that shelf behind you, you don't pay attention to all the stuff that you have on there every day, all those little knickknacks on the shelf back there. We are inundated with kitsch. We are mountains and mountains of kitsch. It's an interesting thing. You actually go out? Do you have a planned day of kitsch shopping? Like, you go out to?
Well, I collect Batman stuff. My basement is Batman themed, and I actually have a pole that goes from my bedroom down into my basement.
Oh, is it in a closet? Oh no, I'm thinking of.
No, it's right. It's at the end of my bed, and when I was remodeling my basement, I was going to do a sports bar theme, and I used to pronounce my last name Borbot. I pronounce it Borbeau now. So, like, my car was the Botmobile, my house was the Bot Cave. So Bot was like a nickname. So I go, you know what? I'm just going to do Batman theme. And then I really kind of went nuts with it during, like, right after COVID, just buying a bunch of, action figures and pictures. And it's gotten out of hand. I've gotten to the point where I've got too much stuff. And I haven't been down there lately, but I need to get it organized. But
I think everybody in America has gotten to the point where they got too much stuff. That's kind of the point I was making. We'd have mountains and mountains of too much stuff.
I'm a little bit. When I was in high school, I was designing the house that I wanted to build as an adult, and it was a 3-story house, but it had a pole that went from the bedroom all the way down to the basement into the swimming pool, because I wanted a pool in the basement. And of course, I never got the money to build that house, but I drew the plans up for it. All the architecture, the electrical wiring, the lighting, because it was part of a class project. We had to do it was an architecture class.
So, Brian, with your situation, you had to cut out a circular hole around the pole in your house to go down to the basement. You had to cut a hole in the floor.
Yeah, I had the guy I was having a bar built, and I said, yeah, I want to put a pole in. And he's like, okay. So, and after I did it, like, was that really a bright thing to do? Because I had this nice hardwood floor, and I figured, well, I can always have that patched up if I want, but I have like doors that open up, so.
Yeah, well, if you ever, and I'm sure you're not selling the house right now, but if you ever were, how that would affect resale value?
The woman probably. It's funny because I had a writer with the Grand Rapids Press was going to do a story on it when The Dark Knight came out, and I was talking to him and his wife at a movie theater before the show started. And his wife goes, what does your wife think of that? And we both look at her like, he's not married. His wife would never put up with, which is, I have friends that come by, and my friends are married friends, and they're like, this is what we would do if we were single. So they like my house. I have an area in my office here that's dedicated to Alice Cooper. I have my bat cave. I have my kit shelf, like you said, so it's kind of like, I don't go out looking for stuff, but it's like, I see it and like, oh, I got to have it. Like, I have a little rhino head up on the wall here, because that was like an old nickname. And so it's like, if I see something I like, yeah, I'll get it,
I must be, and this probably goes without saying, an odd duck, because my wife would let me do anything like that. Like if I said I wanted to put a pole in between the living room and the basement, oh, that's a good idea. Why don't you do it? But I'm the kind of guy who won't ever do. I basically don't.
That's why she says yes, because she knows you won't do it.
Yeah.
If she said no,
I think she generally doesn't care. She would find that interesting. Like, oh, that's pretty cool. We're the only house on the block that has a fireman pole in the house.
She's a keeper. She got a sister.
Yeah.
Funny you mentioned fireman pole, because I actually went over. There's a firehouse a couple blocks away from me, and they let me. I went over to check it out, and I told them what I was going to do, and they go, "You want to go down it?" I'm like, I wasn't wearing a suit at the time. I'm like, nah, I just want to see what it looked like, But those are expensive. Those brass poles are bigger and they're rounder, and they're pretty expensive. So I just have it's an electrical pole that you can get at, a big box.
You can't get too fat for the hole. If you get too fat, that would be interesting. Like you try to go down, you get stuck in the belly. Now how do you even call the neighbors to say, somebody come and get me out of my hole? I'm stuck between the living room and the basement somehow, or whatever room you have in it. Interesting stuff, man. So good luck with all your television stuff, and thank you for doing this on short notice. We appreciate having you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a fun chatting with you guys.
Is there a website or something I should send people to? Because I was sending them to that podcast thing where the link is in the description to where one of the pod services is picking up your YouTube stuff. I should send them to your YouTube channel. Yes, that's what I should do.
Yeah, YouTube channel, or we have a Facebook page that I put links to the videos when their anniversaries up. Year anniversary or whatever. I have birthdays of comics, things I'm promoting for the show, So Facebook is what I use mostly to promote the show.
All right. Well, I'll get both of those links and put them in the description for people who are listening post hence, and hopefully you'll get some more traction and make some new connections. Valuable.
Oh, that'd be great.
It's been a pleasure to have you here, Brian. Have a great
thanks for having me.
All right. Bye for now. Oh, he was bringing up the
prick.
Parrot cactus one more time.
This is prick.
I got to admit, I want to get why I could repeat myself. I don't need.
And you already have Siri,
but Siri won't the name. But the thing won't repeat what I say.
If you tell it to, why wouldn't it? If you said, Siri, repeat everything I say.
Siri, repeat everything GD just said.
I don't think it hears me, does it? I don't think you hear me.
Who the fuck is GD, and why would I want to repeat what he said?
Oh, that's harsh. Siri.
Oh, she wants to send that to you. No, whoop. I think she just sent it to you. Or no, this is not you. She sent it to some random fucking phone number. You shut down. Shut down, you crazy bitch. Okay. She gets that. Oh, you know who she sent it to? My credit card company, because they were the last one to text me. She sent it to. Ooh. They're probably what? What?
Now you're on their list.
We just wanted to remind you your payment is due. We didn't want who's GT? All right. Don't fuck around with her. Or one of the things I don't miss about the kids moving out is Alexa, because the kids would be home and I'd hear Alexa saying one of them wants to talk to the other. They're calling each other on the phone they're both somewhere on the property here, calling each other, and I have Alexa announcing it from the kitchen. It's just like, oh my God, get that thing to shut up. These things, intelligent or artificially intelligent friends, boxes, assistants, whatever the fuck they are, annoying as hell. Spinal Tap, it was mentioned Spinal Tap. The movie came out Friday. I haven't heard anything about it. Well, last week was not a good week for a movie to premiere, right? But have you heard anything about the second Spinal Tap movie? Anybody?
No, I hadn't heard anything. Just some things on like YouTube or TikTok, people doing their own things about it. say that it wasn't a very good movie, but I'll be the judge of that. You know.
Yeah, you know what? I can't wait till it comes to streaming because I'm not going to go. I don't even Spinal Tap 2, right? I want to see where it's playing here. Maybe I will. Want to go with me? Come on, drive up.
I do want to see the Naked Gun. I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, that's not until next month, right? That's
okay. That
Yeah.
explains why I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. That's the director's cut. Now, you
No,
didn't
no,
even
no,
ask.
no, 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 no. The Naked Gun is the new one with Liam Neeson.
Oh, so that's out already. I thought, I'm thinking Airplane. I'm sorry. Same people, right? The Zuckers.
Yeah.
Dick Zucker, Dave Zucker, and
all those dick suckers.
Cop
All those
Zucker.
suckers. Yeah. All those suckers.
Where is it playing? Yeah, you know what? But I would have thought I've heard some buzz about it. So, here's one review. Loved it, laughed out loud from beginning to end. Great satire with these lifelong comedians knowing just how to play it to be both low key and outrageously funny at the same time. Their post fame businesses, the cheese and guitar shop. I shouldn't read it because that's giving stuff. Cheese and guitar shop.
Yeah, they all have their own little businesses that they do at post Spinal Tap, and it's supposed to be like the plot is it's a reunion.
Yeah,
that they've all retired. They all retired from Spinal Tap, and they want to get the band back together.
All right, where's my Showtimes and where it's playing? Oh, Showtimes and where it's playing.
So it's almost kind of like in The Mighty Wind, there was a duet that used to be famous for the song. I think it's called "A Kiss" or something, and they got back together just to do that song.
Yeah, in my mind, you're blowing me some kisses.
Right.
Yes, that was a big duet. Is the name of the song. Duet. So it's playing around here at 1 p.m. I could go to a 1 p.m. show at probably one of these gigantic theaters that would be totally empty at 1 p.m. during the day.
And you have a nice leathery seat, nice big cushion seat that you could probably fall asleep halfway through the show and then wake up and go like, what did I miss?
I'm just getting a private message from John. John, if you want help with that, I was going to volunteer. I am volunteering. If you want help with that, editing it up or finding ways to bump up the content, because I know you only have one shot of it, I could probably make that at least a 2-angle shot.
Yes, what the way they shot it was, it's a wide angle, but they can zoom in. Like when they show the person asking the question, it's high enough quality they can crop and enlarge the person asking the question. Yeah. And then go back to the wide shot.
Coming back to something Brian was talking about, I am surprised at myself for not reaching out to more public access things. Listen, I know very few. It's not going to get a lot of eyes. Even when there was no internet and I was doing public access TV, and we were lucky to get 100 views. But it's extra eyes on a thing, and if it's no extra work, or one edit and then send it out to 300, 400 public access stations, that would be fine. Just to get it on there. And I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll be happy to help. We'll figure out a way to do that, whether you can get it to me or whatever.
Whatever you do, don't mail it to him and tape it up so he has to
wait. Yeah, I have to stop laughing while you're talking because nobody can understand what you're saying. Whatever you do, don't
seal it like I did because he won't be able to for a week.
You don't fucking put here's what GD did. He takes this little micro card and he puts Scotch tape over it, and it's that transparent Scotch tape, and he did put it on there so good that it sealed the thing in, and you couldn't tell where the tape ended and started, and it was taking forever for me to just get the tape off the fucking thing.
I didn't want him to open it up and then drop the card on the floor and not know where it was or something. So I was trying to make it so that you'd have to know where it was. I thought I was helping.
Yeah, and in exchange for that, and which is fine, he was being considerate. But the trade-off there is I end up murdering everybody on my block because I was just so fucking taking temper tantrums over trying to get the card out, and then I dropped it on the floor. So there you go. Yesterday you mentioned the Supremes Love Child. A year ago today, I did a reel on it on the Supremes. Not on Love Child. I did listen to Love Child last night, and it's like, I was wrong. That song would we're in an era where we got Wet Ass Pussy on the fucking radio as a #1 hit. Love Child is nothing.
But it sounds good. I love that song.
Yeah. Diana Ross still alive? She probably is, right?
I believe she's still alive.
We would know about it if she died, wouldn't we?
Not unless she died long enough ago that we forgot. So that's the problem when people get old. You just don't know if they're still alive or not.
Wow.
I'm going to say she's not dead because her no, it looks like she's alive.
What, you Googled it?
I'm trying to. No, I just Googled it, and Wikipedia has a birth date, but not a death date.
All right, so that means she's still alive. All right, good for her. Well, let's get her on the program. See if we can get. I wrote to Diana Ross, and she said, "Durr, you dig you right into Diana Ross." What the hell? I have not heard back from Mark Maron. But I gave him the same thing. It takes a second to say no, but yes is just as fast. I just want some response. Either that, if you don't respond, I'm just going to keep sending you the same fucking email every week that you have to delete. Come on, just a yes or a no, right? Am I not right? I'm wrong again?
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't have to type all of the yes. They can just type Y.
You know what I was thinking about last night? Of course you know because you're a mind reader. You know what I was thinking about. I don't have to tell you.
Yeah. And I agree with you. The country is headed for a civil war.
That's not what I was talking. But along those lines, something definitely related to that, because sometimes I come out here with opinions on things, and people don't want to argue what I actually said. They want to what they wanted to hear me or what they think they heard.
Oh yeah, it's almost like being married. Yeah.
Yeah, like with I'm not sure if you were here. I think you were here when I came out. I was on a soapbox about the Second Amendment. Now, the Second Amendment desperately needed a rewrite, and I prefaced it by saying at least 10 times, I don't want to do a gun grab. I'm not saying take people's guns away. I'm saying the Second Amendment, as written, is not relevant because it was written in a time when there were muskets. So arms meant muskets. Arms did not mean atomic weapons or nuclear weapons or bioweapons or any cyber weapons.
So, flamethrowers.
And Willie, who was on the program, and Mike Shavola, who was in the audience, just kept coming back like, how is this relevant to guns? What do you want to take away people's guns? I just said 1,000 times, I don't want to take away people's guns. Would you want your neighbor, your next door neighbor, or any crazy fucker in your neighborhood having a bioweapons lab in their basement and trust them to not fucking destroy your entire neighborhood or the entire state or country?
They wouldn't even want them to have a meth lab in the basement. And for the same reason, it could just blow up and take out the whole half a block or whatever.
Right. Yeah. So this idea about what arms means do you agree with me that the Second Amendment needs a clarification at the minimum?
I think a great deal of the Constitution needs reclassification. Needs clarification. Yeah. You know, just so many things, and it's only because of lawyers and like our current Supreme Court. Like, there's no such thing as a unitary executive theory. Unitary executive, that's not part of the Constitution. Trump doesn't have all these rights he keep claiming and the Supreme Court wants to say he can do.
Yeah.
It's not in the Constitution. They're just making shit up. So, yeah, I think that should be in there.
And, it's relevant to the point of what was going down last week and what is still going down, all the conversation, because it quickly went to trans people are just shooting up everybody like it's a thing. Trans people are not just shooting people up. But Charlie Kirk, when he got shot, was talking about Second Amendment rights. And
Right.
and he was on record as saying a bunch of times that deaths are an acceptable price to pay for his right to own a gun. The irony in that, and if you bring that up, that's called hate speech now. I guess I'm guilty of
Yeah.
hate speech. But this is clearly what he was saying about the Second Amendment. Now, we all think of the Second Amendment about guns, but arms is far more than guns in today's world. It could be, a computer could be considered arms in some cases. Where do you actually determine what that is so that it has relevance in today's world? I'm not the one to say exactly how we rewrite it, but clearly you don't want your crazy fucking neighbor having a tank. Willie would say, well, if you can afford a tank, you should be able. No. You know what that so you're saying the people who hate you, because we are at a point where left and right hate each other, you think that you would be okay with the people who hate your position having a tank and rolling it down your street, and you wouldn't be nervous
No,
at all?
because it's going to tear up the street, and my tax dollars are going to have to fix it again.
Yeah,
So no.
And they're not qualified, and all. It comes back to that whole thing.
And not only that, they're going to come to the corner. They're going to try to turn around. They're going to smash cars. It's going to tear out telephone poles. No, they can't. No.
But it's just so, because so many people that day when I was on that thing about the Second Amendment, so many gun enthusiasts were like really adamant that you can't. Everything sounds like a gun grab to them. Just to clarify what arms meant, they were just really up in arms, up in guns. I guess that means up in arms about the idea that don't touch the Second Amendment. It's fine the way it is. It's fine the way it is. It's not fine. It's not fine the way it is. You have to again. And when I said you want your neighbor having an anthrax lab, I remember Chevrolet going off. How's that about guns? It's not about guns. It's about arms. That's an arm, right? What does that arm mean in today's world? Just want to see.
I did a comedy show for local acts for the local origination channel in Arlington, Virginia, years ago, like 10. No, not maybe 10. Between 10. Either 10 or 11, 10, 9 or 10 years ago. And it was one of the weirdest things because when they booked me, they were supposed to have had an audience. It was like a live studio audience. And when I arrived, I looked, the cameras are up, but there's no chairs for the audience. And I said to the guy, I said, where's he? I walked in, he goes, I hope you don't mind just performing for the cameras. He says the other comedians didn't want to perform just for the cameras. They needed a live audience. And I went, okay, what happened to the audience? He goes, it was too much extra paperwork, so I didn't feel like doing it. So
wow.
So I did my set for just the cameras. And I did it like I used to practice, but that's how I practice in the basement. It was for my cameras. And I always had these 3-4 second pauses for timing. I would insert when I expected laughter or something. And so I just did my thing. And he goes, we may add laughter later. I said, it's fine if you do, fine if you don't. People watch it and laugh, they laugh. And when they watch, of course, because of local origination, I never got to see it because it was in Arlington, Virginia, and I didn't live there.
Just doing a search here. I'm using Grok for this. Now, people will always say, oh, all these AI things are biased. All right, slow down there, Grok. I asked how many shooting deaths happened in America in August of 2025. The number came back with, now, approximately. Why is it approximately?
Because not every jurisdiction has to report it. Or they don't have to report it to a common database.
So in August, they were saying 3,600 to 3,800 gun-related deaths in August of 2025. Then I asked how many of the shooters were transgender. I'm just trying to see. One shooter, 2 deaths and 17 injuries. I guess this was a school shooter, right?
Sounds like it.
Oh, church, a Catholic church. So,
yes, that's the when that was in Minnesota.
So 36 to 3,800 shooting deaths, one of the shooters, one out of 36 to 3,800 was a trans person. And trans people are the biggest problem. Trans people are going crazy shooting people. I mean, given the fact that they are a very small segment of the population, they're not 1/3600th of the population. So I think we're making a big deal out of the wrong things when we're putting our focus in places. Whatever you feel. Says across 2025 mass shootings to date, transgender individuals account for 0.01%, 1/100th of a percent of the shootings. That's where we want to focus our attention on that point, that 1/100th of a percentage.
Now, how many white males?
That's
I'm
well,
just
you have
teasing.
to define white. White. What does he mean by white? I don't know now how many of the shooters were white males. Maybe white straight males. I just want how many shooters were.
Well, I guess you can say white straight males.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm not sure, but I'm bet if I said how many were white females, you'd get 0. Or how many were females at all, you'd get 0, right?
Well, you probably get twice as many as there are transgendered.
Yeah. How many shooters? Did I say it right? Did I write it right? Based on available data from gun violence, approximately 15 to 20 were white males. No, that can't be. Total shooting deaths August 2025, 1,200 homicides, 36 to 3,800, but mass shootings were only 2025. I just want to know how many white dudes. 98% were white male. Geez, that's not looking good.
There's a problem with being white, not transgender.
Yeah. So 1/100th of a percent are transgendered males, probably white dudes, but 98% overall, 98% overall are just white dudes. I'm assuming most of them are straight white dudes. I think you know what? I hate to be like a guy who's just like anti-white, and I don't want to come across. I don't hate white people. I am a white dude. I am, but it sure seems like the problem is not transgender. It's kind of like suburban white dudes who, here. I think I mentioned this before. We have a shooting range not too far from my house, and it's on the way to a hair designer TV studios. I pass it all the time. I used to pass it all the time, and you can hear them training for Civil War over there. And these are not. There's no black guys, no black guys, no Hispanic guys, no whatever. Certainly no Native Americans on that. It's all white dudes, man. 74% 74% white males, not shooters in interpersonal sense. What does that fucking mean? Not in interpersonal sense. What the fuck does that mean?
Don't know the answer to that, my man, because it doesn't make sense.
Just gun homicides. Now, this is interesting. It says gun homicides, according to FBI CDC statistics, white males are only 20 to 25% of overall gun homicides.
Okay, yeah, because that would be different than mass shootings.
Yeah.
Or school shootings and stuff like that. And
so then they're underrepresented in that because I don't know, white males probably make up more than 25% of the population. I think, like 40%.
No, because white people may not. If white people represent about 40% of the population,
that's what I said.
That's white people. Women, you cut that no more. Women are probably 51% of that.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Wow. All right. But the bottom line here is the trans people, and why. Again, it comes down to the question of why is this the priority is to try to make everything about trans people. Like as soon as a shooting happens, the first how can we make this a trans person? That's their first thing they ask themselves. If a news report comes, mass shooting or whatever, how do we tie it to trans people? There's got to be a way.
Yeah, that's.
And they'll jump through. Sunshine asked a good question. Yes, people do leave guns in their wills. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's how he got his gun. Well, it wasn't in his will because it belonged to his father. It belonged to his grandfather, who gave it to his son, the shooter's father, and then the father gave it to the son.
Yeah. Now this was another thing, and I know we're going into overtime here. The text messages. According to the text messages, if you believe they were real, the kid was more upset and worried about his grandfather and his father not knowing where the rifle was, and his grandfather being upset about it, than he was about the idea that he just killed a person and might get the death penalty for it. He was more worried about getting yelled at from his father about where the gun is. And I said, that is absolutely mental illness. If you are disassociative enough of that, not really understanding that statewide, federal-wide, police are going to find you for what you just did, and you're up for the firing squad, but your major concern is, my dad's going to yell at me.
I had a friend who, when he was 16, drove his father's car and into an accident and got like $150 worth of damage to the car. And rather than to face his father, he killed himself over $150 worth of damage. Now, true, this is $150 50 years ago money, but still, he killed. His father was so abusive. His father was so abusive to him that his son committed suicide.
Yeah, but that's a whole different story. This guy actually just did a murder, and
So
he knew he did a
he could
murder.
have shot his father and said, "Shut up! I don't have to listen to you," and shoot him too.
But the idea that, if you get caught and I think he had to know there's a good chance he's going to get caught. They shut down half the town. They would do, and he's worried about that rather than the firing squad that he's going to face. I don't believe the texts are real anyway, but that's just a very weird. So people were arguing with me, well, that's not mental illness. He knew how do you text on the run? And he knows about cell tower pings and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm not at all convinced that those texts were real. But if they are real, that's he's claiming. And so that's, in my mind, that's absolute evidence of mental illness. And people were arguing with me, no, that's not mentally ill. He knew what he was doing. He knew he was taking a man's life. Yeah, he knew he was taking a man's life, but the disassociation from the blame or cause or what the effects of that on him and on the guy's family and taking a human life, that seemed to escape him. So to me, no, I'm not a psychoanalyzing. I'm not a psychiatrist, but as a normal, I'm not a normal person. As a layman, I can diagnose him with batshit crazy straight off. That's batshit crazy to me. Yeah. Just thinking, well, Dad's going to yell at me. You're going to get fucking shot by fucking a firing squad, dude. Don't worry about Dad yelling at you. Dad's going to be crying that day, no matter what. Even if he hates your guts, he's still going to be crying over the tragedy of what happened. Just bizarre, man. Anyway, I got to go check on my vehicle. No, I don't. I will call it my car. The language of that fucking text. I saved it in case we wanted to go over it. We don't need to do that, but yeah, I don't know how you start texting people and not knowing that, because all our texts, all our messaging is being held by NSA computers and being documented. They're looking for keywords, but everything is being recorded, or any digital communication is being caught somehow.
Yeah, at least initially it was like more like they're saying it was the metadata, so that they could track who's contacting who, but not necessarily what they're talking about. But when it comes to text and stuff like that, yeah, they look for keywords and things like that.
Yeah.
But phone calls, again, that's just what I'm told. That it was, the phone calls is the metadata, not the actual calls.
Yeah.
I mean, although I have been on the wrong end of a tapped line, so.
All right, let me see what we got tomorrow. We got somebody here tomorrow, right?
Horsebacky person. Right?
Oh yeah, Sarah Parker. Is that, it's Bear Love's friend, I think. Sally Parker. Let me look it up so I get it right. I'm being disrespectful here, aren't I? I'm a disrespectful asshole, aren't I? Go ahead, you can say it. Go ahead, say it.
I can't say it.
How dare you say that about me? Can't even get there now.
Sunshine's got to feed the chickens.
Really, she's got chickens?
Apparently, she's feeding the chickens.
I can't get there. Fucking Calendly, you're fucking with me. Stop fucking with me, Calendly. That's what I'm saying. Is it Sarah Parker, Sally Parker, it's Bonnie Parker, Bonnie and Clyde Parker, Clyde Barrow and Bonnie Parker? Oh, come on, you're fucking with me.
Parker Posey.
What was that?
Parker Posey. No, that's the name of an actress, I think.
It's Susan Parker. I think I hit every fucking female name except Susan. She'll be here in the second hour tomorrow. She's going to talk about equine therapy. She has a sanctuary, horse sanctuary. We'll be talking horses. Who doesn't love horses? If find me somebody who doesn't love horses, and I'll find you somebody who doesn't use enough sunblock.
Find me someone who doesn't love horses, and we'll find someone who buys their headstones in bulk.
Right. So that's tomorrow. This went way too fast. Now I actually have to do stuff. See, this is my excuse to not do stuff. I'm here. All right. I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. What are you going to do today? It's Wednesday.
I have to take a nap. I'm exhausted, and I got to have a strategy to get my wife to not be mad. Hopefully it's just, a mood swing.
Man, you know what? Have her call me.
No.
Yeah, well, no. Once she talked to me, she realized, you know what? My husband's not such an asshole after all. That guy's a bigger asshole than anybody, meaning me. You don't think? I don't know if you noticed about me, but I got an Asshole of the Year award every year in a row. All right, let's just tell people to turn on their radio and have a great day and bye for now. Turn on your radio. Have a great day and bye for now.
I
me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now.